Okay, so tonight we're going to play some Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea. This is part 2 of our campaign in Xambaala, where the party is traveled across as caravan guards or workers, and you've basically reached the end of the line. You had a little adventure last time, working as scouts. You were kind of dropped off at Xambaala by the caravan leader, who is going to meet you in 2 days to give you the rest of your pay. You've got a little cash in your pockets to stay in an inn and drink a little bit and kind of get yourself clean. And that was the 14th day of the 7th month of the 7th year. Though you probably weren't paying attention to the days because you were on the caravan. But you certainly know that because today when you wake up, which happens to be the 15th, is the beginning of Bealltainn, which is a huge festival. You're awoken in the common room where you guys were sleeping to the sounds of the bell in the morning. At 6 a.m., the bell rings, calling back the slaves that live in the outskirts of Xambaala to come back and work. Also, that's kind of the time that you should get your drunken butts up, so says the place you're staying, and either eat something or get the hell out, or drink something, if that's what you'd like to do. So as you are kind of waking up and getting your gear together, let's have you guys do a quick little intro on your characters. So you're basically in the Saturn's Luck hotel, we'll call it. It's also a bar / inn, and yeah, let's go through the line. You guys can intro your characters, and we will go from there. If I can stop this. Okay, let's start with Nikki.
This is Penesta the Bard, daughter of tanners and saddlers from the city-state of Cromarium. Not being able to stomach the smell of her family business, she decided to strike out and become the bard after being inspired by a Viking skald. So she is doing her very, very best to dress like a Viking and be a Viking despite the fact that she's only 5'2". She has red hair and green eyes, and in the last battle she managed to find some treasure with Zulia and wrote a great song about it. And now she's been carousing and is ready for the festival.
Excellent. How about Kenneth?
I am Uhtred Rift Henderson. I am a Viking. I have blonde hair and a very fine light beard. I am tall, broad of shoulder and chest, and am very virile. I'm in this caravan because I was shipwrecked, and I am in seek of my destiny.
Excellent. You'll find it here, I'm sure. Rush.
Zulia would come downstairs with an aggravated look on her face. She had spent the previous evening wanting to carouse, have some drinks, possibly catch any rumors around that abounded in this big city, and in the process, there was a rumor here, there was a rumor there, but in the process of the drinking, much to her own embarrassment, being somewhat of a, not really a thief, but a practitioner of shadow, she was robbed and lifted of a large portion of the coin that she had found and pilfered with her newfound friend Penesta. So she comes down to order something meager, and just basically looks like she woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. And but she is somewhat lightened by the fact that this new festival is coming, and she's very interested to see how such a revelry will play out.
Excellent. Yeah, I'll throw the map up and everything later. Essentially, this is a one. Well, there's 2 stories, but the top of the story is you're not into it. So you didn't come down the stairs, but that's fun. Yeah, you definitely were robbed. That's
Yes. It does. It happens.
First night in the big city.
Yeah. You're a young girl. Shit happens.
And
You a pretty princess.
Yes, I am. I'm a pretty princess.
Crystal. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you say my name. So is today the 15th or is today the 14th? It is the morning of the 15th. Okay. So, then Valkyria comes bounding down the stairs or hallway of whatever motel that they have stayed in. And I'm going to say that she has her hair has this powdery copper stuff, all puffed up in it. And she's painted her face red and has green, paint lines under her face as she comes bounding down the hall, excitedly, fully embracing this holiday. She places a candle on the table and lights it and says, great Bealltainn to you all, fellow adventurers. Yes, that's the witch. And last but not least, Tony.
The man standing there in need of a hair trim, that he's let it get a little too long on the caravan journey, and shave of a few days' growth of beard. Opens up the gloved hand. You see the necklace, the raven amulet of the god, the deity he serves, the raven, as he clenches and unclenches his hand. And he says to himself, after hearing the start of his festival and what it signifies, satiate my soul, protect me from shedding any blood against these pagan witches, these shamans, the ones who live in the dark and bring the darkness among us. Do not let me shed blood in this new city that I have not found my way in. I will do my best, and I trust in you. He starts to put the necklace, the amulet, around his neck and tightens the clasp. And he picks up and puts on the other glove and secures it and starts down. And he waves over one of the barkeeps and he goes, a breakfast, a hearty breakfast, please. It's going to be a long day for me. That is Tan Rillis, the purloiner.
Excellent. So yeah, so you all come in here. Let me show you the thing here. I'll give you a little background here. Probably should have done that first. You guys are, the whole layout because you've been here for a day or so. In the area marked 2B, that's basically the sleeping area in the back. It is more or less an area where people can just lay down their bedrolls and sleep. It's warm and secure. It's nothing fancy. That's why it was only 3 copper pieces. The main, as you're kind of walking out of that room, kind of nobody leaves their stuff there. I mean, even if you're staying multiple nights, they warned you when you came in to make sure you take your packs. Don't leave them there because the management is not responsible for any items left in the sleeping area. So as you kind of come into this main kind of bar area, you see, it's actually fairly full, because most of the people are getting up as you are and they're sitting down. Saturn serves delicious fried bread with butter, and various types of wine. So that's definitely available to you. If you'd like to consume any food at this point, you're already hearing people talking fairly loudly about, that there's been, it seems to be important because this is the 7th year and the 7th month, and they have 7 murderers, criminals that they found raiding the Witch Queen's caravans. They're going to burn them in the arena at the height of the festival. And let's just get into that just so people have information. So this festival is, I'm just going to kind of read it from the book. I like to read it to you guys. Bealltainn, although the holiday is rooted in Celtic and Pictish traditions, present form has evolved. Its most significant festival for pyromancers, witches, druids, and shamans. It's a celebration of fire, rebirth, and atonement, cleansing, fertility, and purification. It's marked by plenteous imbibing of wine, lotus chewing, and the lighting of great sacrificial bonfires in which animals and men, as in this case, are immolated. So this is a pretty popular festival. So even though it started as kind of pagan roots, it's kind of like made the mainstream. So probably because it's so crazy and people love to party. Essentially, everybody gets naked, paints their bodies. They have great orgies, drinking, dancing, and just every crazy thing you can possibly think of in the name of religion. And it lasts for about a week. So you're right at the beginning of it now. And there's going to be on the 18th, which is moon. Right now you're on Sunday, which is the 15th. There'll be, interestingly enough, there'll be no moon on that day, as both moons will be gone. Essentially, it's a new moon, so you won't see the moon. So during that day, that night, there will be the sacrifice of the criminals. You know that. And what else? So Saturn's luck. Give you a little description because we just kind of came here last time without really getting into it. So it's on a narrow street. This is like, again, this is a tough town, and this place is no different. The street is full of essentially whorehouses and lotus dens and bars. This is actually the safest of all of them in this general area, which is why most people end up sleeping here. But they don't necessarily drink here because people definitely drink here, but the more crazy and rowdy people tend to drink out in the down the street in the various places where there's not as much, we'll say, where the owners don't care as much. The owners here are pretty strict about that, so they're pretty much on anybody who tries to fight. You may have even noticed in your drinking the first night that any fights that start to break out here are quickly broken up, as this establishment is considered a safe house. So, but as I said, you can certainly, I think you all have money left. For only 1 silver piece, you could get hot pan fried bread with butter, if you'd like. You could also have milk, which is 2 copper pieces, or if you're ready to put a little, hair of the dog, as I say, a mug of the finest pomegranate wine is only 1 silver piece.
Victoria is gonna march over to the bar. She's sort of like just dancing, maybe to the soft music that's going on in the background as the bands are getting ready and stuff. And she says, "Yes, Tam, yes, have your feast of a meal, consume as the fire does, and then purge yourself of the evils of your body." And she'll slap down 2 silver pieces and say, "I'll have a breakfast plate and a wine."
Okay. Yeah, excellent. So yeah, when you come up to the bar, you probably noticed, having been here, that like these seats at the bar are pretty much always full by like the same people. They're mostly old men. that seem to be like the regulars here, and they look. They as soon as they see you approach, they of course are make some space, and they're kind of looking at you, and they say, "Ah, a practitioner or a cleric, are you?" One of the old men says. He seems to be a common man.
Indeed, a practitioner or a cleric.
He smiles and sips his wine that he's also drinking.
And
At
what of
6:30.
you? She asks as she takes a seat with him. She says, "What bring? Are you a practitioner or a cleric?"
He looks at you and he says, "I have had many adventures in my time. Now I sit upon the throne of Saturn's luck." And he laughs. And then all the men they raise their drinks and they "Aye!" and they take drinks.
And she says, "Well, your life isn't over yet." And she winks at him.
Tan, at seeing the joy and elation coming from Val, says nothing. He looks at the waitress and he goes, "When my plate is ready, I will be at one of the corner tables over there." And he will just turn around and walk off to one of the tables.
Okay. Yeah, she goes up. Does anybody else want to get any? I don't know who has money left. I think you still have some money left.
Yeah, I'll have a wine. Hair of the dog.
Okay.
And
Yeah. So pomegranate wine is only one silver
and
piece.
silver.
It's a
Okay.
bargain. Yeah. So you order that stuff. If anybody who orders drinks, the serving girl will just yell at the bartender and walk. Then she walks out that door that you saw next to the bar. If you didn't see it, doesn't really. It's not super relevant. And she's gone for a couple minutes, and she comes back with the platter with you can see the steam coming off this fried bread and has lots of butter on it. It looks very rich, and she serves it to those who got food. They continue to. You see people periodically kind of getting up and going into like that, the sleeping area basically, which is open during the day because nobody's there really, and then coming back out with more or less. We'll say less than normal amounts of clothing on and slathered in various types of paint and stuff as they're preparing for the festivities, and then they kind of leave. They're getting ready and going out. By the time an hour or so goes by after you've had a couple of drinks or a drink and you ate, so it's 7:00 in the morning. You can see that you can hear the bustle in the city. People are definitely already getting fired up.
I would have gotten my fried bread, and Zuli is actually going to go for a wholesome glass of milk because it does a body good.
Okay,
and,
let's go.
And if provided there's no what's the term I'm looking for, protest, would actually go to join Tan, over at his corner to eat, with him being her countryman or whatever. And while she's watching these people come in and out, dressed, flamboyantly, ready to party or whatever, she would kind of make mention and say, well, the festival seems to be getting ready to get underway fairly early. And then she would look down at her plate and say, there was I was robbed last night, looking over at Tan, and she would say, rather embarrassing. I lost most of my coin, but there was interesting talk. If you care to hear rumors of the city.
Yes, of course. Anything to get my mind off these worshippers of the devil.
Well,
so just before you get into this, I don't want to interrupt your role play, but are you trying to sit separate from the rest of the party? I think that if I'm understanding it right, Valkyria is trying to hang out at the bar with the locals, but is everybody else sitting together, or are you guys spread out?
I followed Tan. I don't have any problem
What
with
about
the other two.
Panesta and Lutrin.
I'd probably follow Zulia.
Uhtred would get an ale and kind of follow Pinesta around.
Okay. So
Maybe
where's
try
Pinesta?
and steal it. You might try and steal a piece of her bread.
And all I have is wine.
Oh. Where goes that idea?
I could walk over where Tan and Zuli are sitting and I'll say, rumors? You guys talking about rumors? Because I heard something as well.
Zulia would cock one eyebrow and say, well, what did you hear?
I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
She'd take a bite of her bread, giggle a little bit. She says, well, mine was a little dark. I understand. I've never been to this city, but I've heard of it, and I understand that the ruler here is a witch queen, and they say that the witch queen is looking for purebred Hyperboreans, tall and fair, and is willing to offer a pretty bounty for said specimens. And she looks at Penn.
Well, I've heard.
Sorry, just so I'm gonna I don't want to keep interrupting the role play, but I just want to insert things you might know. You know,
Okay.
this is the beginning. So
By
you
all
would know.
means.
Most people will know that this witch queen, she is from Yathorium, which is basically in the middle of the desert. So it's she rules this whole area, including here, but she's not physically in this town. So just so you know that would be.
Oh, okay.
Just so that you when you're.
But she does rule it, though.
Yeah. She rules like this whole area, but she is. I'll just quickly show you guys the map.
Yeah.
The deeper we go into the campaign, the less this will become necessary. But I just feel like it's good for you guys to know what's going on as far as politics and so on. So you guys are here in Xambaala, and you see the Yathorium. That's where
She's way out there in the middle.
Yeah, and basically most of this area, all of this desert region, is basically hers. You know,
Okay.
more or less what you can see there. So yeah, she's pretty powerful. You know, and rumored to live forever.
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Huh? I love that movie.
I said, well, my rumor also concerns the Yathorium in a more roundabout way. I've heard during our carousing last night that horrible beast men have been ravaging travelers between this city of Xambaala and Yathorium. I wonder if they're just beast men or if they are searching for something for this queen.
Like Hyperboreans, maybe.
Maybe. Or they could be random beast men. It is a desert.
And they are beasts.
Yes. Either way, might be able to make some coin if we stop them from bothering travelers. Maybe some merchant wagons would be thankful to us for helping them with their beastman problem. Just a rumor I heard.
Tan looks over at Zool and crosses his arms and he says, "It is funny you mentioned this witch queen. Anyway, I heard speaking to a man last night who was involved with the keg toss that I guess he's the one that actually bested me. But anyway, that's another story for another day. He kept speaking of these nomads that are out in the Zakaf desert that we come through, that evidently they have gone renegade, rebels, whatever word you want to use, and are sabotaging plans that this witch queen has of her mining operations out in the desert. My curiosity, of course, is not with any witch, or maybe a queen, but not a witch queen, but I wonder if these nomads would be worth talking to at some point about trying to maybe assist them, depending on their end goal with this sabotage.
much seems to be happening involving this town and what did you say the name of the other place was? Zithorium?
Ythorium.
Euthorium.
I think it's
Between this-
YITH.
Yeah.
Orium.
Euthorium. I wonder if she would point over to the bar where Valkyria is and say, I wonder if the pretty witch has heard anything last night as well.
I don't know. I would not be the one to ask her. I can tell you one thing, though, is the story that Penn says about the beastmen, that with us being new here and not knowing things quite well yet, maybe that would be something. The merchant we worked for paid us very well. Maybe it would be best to look into this, protecting these caravans and taking down some of these beastmen. They cannot be that hard of trouble. We have Red to help us.
I think that's a fine idea.
How many people have not had breakfast? Out of curiosity.
I didn't eat. Penn didn't eat.
I'm not sure about Uhtred.
Yeah.
Well,
Uhtred has
whoever hasn't had breakfast, I want Valkyria to buy them breakfast and to come to the table when it's ready.
Okay. That's very generous of you.
Yeah. So who hasn't had breakfast? Just Penn?
Penn, yeah, and Uhtred.
Uhtred, yeah.
Okay, so she'll buy breakfast for Penn and Uhtred.
Feed the Vikings.
And has Zulia had breakfast?
Yeah, I bought bread and milk.
All right, so then she'll when the bread plates are ready, she will come over as they're being sat down, and by this point, Valkyria is now completely naked, and she's just been letting people paint on her body and stuff as the food was being prepared and everything. So she has red and green and yellow paint all over her naked body, and her hair is full of silver and copper, and it's just kind of wild and crazy. And she dances over as she laughs flirtatiously with some guy who just painted a red stripe over one of her breasts. And she'll sit down and she'll say, "Friends, eat, consume. You'll need the energy. For today, we are going to visit Sorcerer's Tower."
You seem to be into the spirit right off the bat.
Of course. This is Bealltainn. I so love this celebration.
Well, tell us before the party gets too out of hand. Did you hear any interesting talk last night of just anything?
Yes, that's what I've said. We're going to visit a Sorcerer's Tower today. It's said to be just outside of town, just north of here, not too far away. Well, okay, maybe a few hundred miles, but this tower. Okay, but I hear you. But listen, this tower is said to contain great wealth. They say that the sorcerer who lived there may have been responsible for the Green Death.
Or what?
You would have to be quite a powerful sorcerer to be, and quite wealthy to be able to be responsible for something like the Green Death.
Green Death.
Which our DM could probably tell us what that is.
So the Green Death.
I know what it is.
I don't have all the specifics, but I'll tell you generally. Essentially, the Green Death wiped out basically most of Hyperborea, I think several hundred years ago.
Yeah.
When the Hyperboreans used to rule, and mostly got completely wiped out. That was the Green Death.
It was essentially their version of the Black Plague.
Yeah, more or less. And then other races slowly but surely came. But before then, only Hyperboreans lived here. and the vast majority of them died from the Green Death. It was basically an apocalypse, essentially.
It was actually worse than the Black Plague.
Oh yeah, I mean it was. Yeah, the ones that survived were ones that basically went underground. That's why you don't see too many Hyperboreans. They're pretty rare, and if you were to see one, you would definitely know because they're quite tall. And,
Yes.
Imagine us being able to get our hands upon magics that powerful.
Tan would slip both gloves even tighter and clench his fist. Then he sits up at the table and he goes, "Why would we travel out into the desert hundreds of miles away from here that we are not familiar with to go to some sorcerer witch place that may hold things that all of us would be dead at anyway?"
Treasure is, I mean, I like treasure as much as the next person. When you say several hundred miles, is it out there near Lithium or
Ithorium.
Ithorium? Let me write that again.
I only play this game just so we can get all the names wrong constantly.
Yes.
Vel will say, I was only told that it was just north of here. They said that the geometry of the tower is quite strange, so I imagine it'll be easy to spot.
Ithorium is to the north.
Go ahead and keep going. I'm going to bring the map up so I can give you an idea of where things might be.
Yeah. I would still say I think Ithorium is to the northwest. So,
so the way Hyperborea works is that the center of Hyperborea is basically the North Pole. So
that's right.
There, that mountain, that's your North Pole. So north is basically in the direction of that. So from where you are, north would be,
actually south.
Yeah,
west.
actually, right, would be. If you were using up as north for this, it's basically southwest.
Yeah.
Through the mountains and stuff. I mean, you don't know exactly where.
How big is each of those hexes?
I mean, you're looking at. You're looking at like hundreds of miles to get. It depends on how far you want to go. 100 miles would probably put you basically at the mountains, more or less.
Okay, so each one of those hexes is about 35, 50 miles, something like that. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it says on it, but just roughly.
Yeah. Couple of 100 miles.
Oh, one hex is 24 miles. Okay, so actually no. So 100 miles would be
4 hexes.
If you were going to go 100 miles directly or 200 miles or whatever. Sorry, I got to find a spot again. That's what we're making away. So each one's only 24. So yeah, you're looking somewhere in the mountains. Basically, you're looking at like somewhere by where it says Death Valley, like not quite that far, but in that direction, about halfway there. I would say. So it'd be 4 hexes. So like right.
Oh, Death Valley sounds invigorating.
Yeah, see where the water is? It would be like diagonal south of the water, basically. If you were going to go, due north for 100 miles, and 200 miles would be closer to Death Valley, and so on. And Hyperborea is quite cold, even in the summer. So when you get into that area, you're going to need to be ready for it. You would know this. So
it's the tundra. That's why it's gray. And it was how far away? The rumor?
Hundreds of miles.
Hundreds of, okay. Not very specific.
Tan looks at Zool and crosses his arms and he goes, "Did you not sleep well? What makes sense about traveling hundreds of miles? And we will probably none of us return from a journey such as that for some falsehood story. That would be foolish for us to travel that far into a country we're not that familiar with yet."
Well, to answer your question, no, I didn't sleep well. I was robbed and I went to bed rather pissed off. But I'm simply trying to see what all the options are right now. And I agree, this sounds like an extraordinarily dangerous trek. I know nothing of mountaineering and traveling through mountains and things of the like. You and I both come from an island country. I know ships and waters and cities, but perhaps these merchants would be the first good order to look into. I'm sure that during the festival, any of those merchants, if they are partaking, would be more than happy to, or easily plied to open their traps. Their words lubricated with alcohol, with wine and spirits.
Yes,
Wow.
and I'm sure they'll be glad to speak to the more sensibly dressed ones like you and I.
If we can figure out what kind of reward we could get from protecting travelers or eliminating the beastman threat, we could perhaps, if they have items that could help us eventually take on the Sorcerer's Tower, but I'm not willing to go into a tundra with a naked witch at this point, as adventurous as I can be. Even I have to draw the line somewhere.
See, the bard speaks the words of wisdom. You should make a song of that. That is best.
Well, Ken, to be fair, dear, you've only seen what I can do with my clothes on, and Vel winks at you.
Uhtred takes a big swallow of ale, runs his hand across his face, wiping his mouth, and says, "I want to thank Valkyria for breakfast. I quite admire her current outfit.
Thank you.
I'd follow her anywhere right now."
Well, why don't you two skedaddle out on into the desert and we'll see you when you get back.
Well, let us take care of these local ramblings just to get a little pocket change for ourselves, and then we can take on the Mad Wizard's Tower. How about that?
Dear, to have pocket change, you have to have pockets.
Well, you've never. I mean, you'd be surprised at where I can keep.
Oh.
Oh my.
I'd like to find out.
I don't. I'm not sure that the rest of the group would be too. I'm not sure that the rest of you would be very keen on. She chuckles to herself, searching out for wayward Hyperboreans for the Witch Queen either. So it definitely seems as though the merchants.
I will not take 1 silver doing anything for any witch.
She reaches over and pats Tan on the shoulder, and she says, "It was in jest, brother. It was just in jest."
Of course, of course.
And then she says, she kind of claps her hands together and says, "Well, my pouches are all very light, so I say we inquire of this beast man problem."
Yes, and if it partakes enough to bring us a good enough coin, I think we should actually, since Penn is the one that heard this, we should actually make sure she gets a little extra out of it.
I can support that theory. Thank you, Tan. That's very kind of you.
Well, you have brought the wisdom to the table this morning, it sounds like to me.
Shall proffer no argument.
Strange, but hey, anything can happen, right? All right.
I hear there's an arena in town. There could be some good competition.
Oh, and probably plenty of pockets to pick, too, as he looks towards Zoe.
She just kind of holds her hands up like this and just puts them back together and just turns her head. And
Well,
like
we need coin. I mean, coin could be easy coin.
If Uhtred could win us some coin, or lose us, I suppose he could lose too. Win or lose, I could get a really good song out of it. So either way, we win.
That's right.
Uhtred looks at Penn and grumbles.
Not saying you would lose, but gotta be prepared for these things.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so you guys
Where should we go to find out more about the rumor of the Beastmen, or find out more about the arena?
Oh, I say we just hit the streets and start walking. As Zoe said, I'm sure there'll be some merchants set up somewhere that we could just visit with and see if they know anything or looking for any hired hands.
Sounds like a plan.
So you would probably know two things right off the bat, like just from talking to people, like just generally inquiries or were told when you first arrived. That so you see my mouse? You can, right? You guys
Yes.
are at,
Yep.
So you're at number 2 right now. These are the docks over here. All right, number 1. And right around the docks is like warehouse areas. So if you're seeking for traders / merchants or whatever, that could be a good spot. The other the place, if you want to look for merchants that are active, you've got the Bazaar in the center. And then over here, number 5 is the arena.
Looks like we should maybe go into the bazaar and we could hit up the arena on our way, kind of, if we go that way.
Hello.
Ah, you've continued the words of wisdom. I like that.
Okay, so like I said, if you were to go, we'll say up.
Well, you're
I
the
don't know
one
what
that
I don't know
showed it
what
to me.
direction it actually is, although there probably is a thing on here. Yeah, so it is north actually. If you were to go north,
Yeah, I went
of where you
based
are,
on the
this is
link
that
that you
street that
sent
has
to
all
me.
the drug dens and seedy bars and stuff. And you can certainly walk, up there. You see, Lotus chewers sprawled out on the street, kind of,
Because I'm lazy.
taking
I don't really feel like
taking naps, we'll say.
I'm using
from having chewed too much Lotus.
that too, but
And you see in between the alleys
this is
some.
actually an older keyboard that I got some time ago, and it's a really nice
I'm
keyboard.
just gonna mute you, Rush, when you're not okay. You see some, in between those alley spaces there. You can definitely see where some vagrants and stuff are sleeping, and they're maybe getting roused now. And so while where you were staying is popular for kind of the travel that doesn't have a lot of money, but it needs a safe place to stay. So a lot of people are getting ready for the festival and kind of heading out. This street in general, people don't look too festive. They're basically just sprawled out, stoned or poor and just like looking pretty seedy. And when you come up to that first like intersection, if you were to go to you can clearly see and hear the noise of the bazaar, if that's where you want to head. So, the bazaar itself is pretty large, as you can see. In the center of it is a well. And you can see steady throngs of people coming from all directions with buckets, getting water, whether they be bringing them back for businesses or people bringing them to their private residences or whatever. They're all getting their water from the well. People are kind of, some people are just doing that. Some people are stopping at the merchants who are selling, all types of foodstuffs and trinkets and various things you might think of. At the very bottom, so the south side, you can see this is the Temple of Helios, where there is a huge on top of it, a huge statue of Helios, the sun god, there. So you can definitely see that as soon as you walk in. Of course, you can see the arena as well, too. The other kind of tall things, you've got an astrologer's tower right here. So that's just a big tower that you've heard as the astrologer's tower. That's number 8. And number 6 is what they call the blood tower. It's basically connected to the arena. And with a little bit of chatting, you would find out that was that's basically where like the gladiators are housed and stuff like that. And the top floor of it is where like the absolute elite, like the richest people watch the games. So that stuff you would kind of get pretty simply. But anything else, let me know what you guys want to do as you enter. There's definitely people you could pick their pockets. It's pretty crowded here. And you can see if you're looking for something very specific for a merchant, we can try to find it for you. Otherwise,
Tan definitely wants to, him and Zul have been talking about that on the way and, having some conversation between themselves. And he says, well, to ease my mind, we'll see if I can accomplish this for you. Just take note and watch and learn something as we maneuver through this large crowd of people. And I'm going to try to pick a pocket.
nice.
While he does that, though, I do have a question. Is it possible to English? Does do the mechanics have a thing where I can say like distract someone by talking to him to make it easier for him, or does that just not work that way?
I can just start singing.
But you certainly can try. I don't see any reason why. Let me just see here.
You could play and I could dance, and
Right?
he can pick pockets because
Yeah,
I'll play the
I think
flute.
that-
You dance. Tan picks pockets.
Okay, yeah. Let's do this. That sounds reasonable to me. I'll give you a bonus there. Let's just to make it more of a challenge, because I like that. Do like a test of charisma.
okay. For which one?
No, the bard can definitely play. I'm not going to make you roll for that. But
I didn't know if I had to do the test for dancing.
Yeah, since you are not a dancer, right? That's not your background.
No, but
We'll say right, exactly. But I mean, you're
but they're pretty.
an attractive young lady, so we'll say, what's your charisma?
My charisma is 15.
Okay, so you got a 3 out of 6 chance to give a bonus. So I'm basically gonna you get 1 point of bonus automatically, Tony, because of the crowd is being formed by the flute playing, and you'll get an additional point if the dancing is good. What were you saying?
Okay.
Chris?
I was going to say, if Zulia is going to dance, then Valkyria wants to dance with her.
Work.
I mean, she's having a fun time. This is the festival. She's supposed to be dancing anyway. So
Okay.
All right, so I have to roll what now?
On a 6-sided die, you need to roll a 1, 2, or 3.
I rolled a 3.
Okay, yeah, you're pretty distracting.
If you,
Go ahead, Crystal. You can do the same.
you did.
Sorry, Valkyria.
Yeah,
I rolled a
got
1.
wild.
You rolled a 1. All right, well.
So
And
I
you
was
are-
super distracting. To be fair, I'm naked and my body is covered in paint. So
You're either distracting because you can dance really well or really bad. It's like one or the other. So yeah, so I'll give you we'll give you 3 extra points, Tony, to your skill.
Oh, wow. So 7 out of 12.
Nice.
I
Wow.
rolled a 1.
Oh, you didn't even need to.
He picked this shit. That dude is broke.
We are a great team. We are awesome.
All right, let's see.
We will never be poor.
It was Valkyria's
right,
abs.
so
Have
roll-
you seen those things?
Well, again, just normal zeros. They
Oh, I didn't hear you, Daniel.
Roll me a 10-sided die,
just
Tony.
wanted
A
to,
10? Okay.
wanted to actually report.
A 1 again.
Oh wow. Okay, wow. Okay, now roll a 12-sider.
7.
Wow, this guy must have been like new in town and hadn't gone to the bank yet. He has 7 platinum pieces.
Holy shit.
Mythic, so.
7 platinum, okay.
Yeah, that's a
Wow.
lot.
Isn't it like 70 gold or
No, 5 platinum to a gold.
5 platinum?
Yeah. So
No, 5 gold to a
Asked
plat.
him-
it's yeah. So 35 gold would be the
35 gold. Holy shit.
Nice.
yeah. Platinum is very valuable and not usually carried like unless so it's probably either he was a merchant or he's going to buy something expensive. So, yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah. You know reach in or cut the cord or whatever and you snag it. Walk away with this this
Yeah,
pouch.
I'll give a wink towards Zool and Vale, even though in Penn, and just keep walking.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, you do that. I'm sure they continue for a little bit longer to
make
keep
it
it
more casual.
on the low key.
And it
but,
is. I
yeah,
just don't think
you,
humans really want to do mythics.
You kind of
It's
rendezvous,
just
whatever, a couple
normal
minutes later,
stuff.
or however you're going to do it. And yeah, you're 35 platinum richer. That's damn good.
37 platinum, right? 35.
No, 7 platinum. Yeah, 35 gold richer.
When they all get there, I will open up the little pouch and I will look at Zool and I will go, see, it is not that
Yeah,
hard
it's
of a
not bad. They
job, but of
probably
course,
don't
thank you all for your help.
always welcome
And
to sign up
I would
everybody.
delve out and give
In fact,
each of them
Steph, we
one
signed up last week and we went.
platinum.
And we had a good
Okay,
time.
thank you.
Yeah,
So you
but
can-
but I just don't feel
Awesome.
like
I'll just say,
Daniel, I sing just very softly under my breath, and his money went bye,
well, if
bye,
you've done
bye.
LFR, you probably
You're such a win. So, that's
So-
it.
I'm going to take my platinum piece there, and I'm just going to be like, by the gods, I sat right there and watched you do it, and I'm like, I am
I actually would like to
impressed.
go into,
He had no
night
idea.
hall.
But thank you.
Have
This
you? I like to go back into night hall
is
for
great.
fun, for some
And
of
she
the training
secrets this
ideas.
coin well inside of her pouches down, and so that nobody can take this one off of her like they did the night before. So, and she
Yeah,
says, well,
when Tan hands the one to Vale, he looks at her and he just goes, "Maybe you can hide it behind your ear or something."
I guess
Celia
even
is gonna
though you
basically-
are naked or whatever, I mean, you're carrying all your stuff, I'm assuming, right? Nobody left anything at the
Yeah, I'm
place?
still carrying my backpack. So.
Yeah, that was very
Zulia- Yeah, Zulia is just going to mention I don't know that there's really anything she would want to buy, but she's going to be like, yeah, if we do go to that arena, I might take a gander at the combatants and put a bet down. But other than that, let's go shopping.
That is a good thing to say because I think that Red has proven himself many a time. I would think he would, well, like you say, let's take a look at the competition first.
I don't think there is anybody.
I most definitely want to compete.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you want to head over towards the arena?
I wouldn't, because you don't know what spec they are.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if
first.
anybody else wanted to actually go shopping first or which order they wanted to go in.
Unless we were going to try to catch some of the merchants here in this bazaar to talk to about the protecting for the Beastmen.
You know what? It might be better if he goes into the arena and kicks somebody's ass real good.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
we go talk to the merchants and just say, well, look who our friend is.
Oh, wisdom has come upon you, Zul.
This could go good, this could go bad.
Zol, I swear, it's like you've done this stuff before.
Okay, yeah. So you pass through the bazaar. You know, there's lots of maybe you're all being extra cautious now because you just saw how easy it is to get pickpocketed. As you make your way through the bazaar, you know, with some newly minted platinum, which is probably some of you have never even touched platinum piece before, so they're pretty rare. So I wonder who you got it from. Anyways, we'll move on from that. So this is the arena is huge, right? It's a gigantic building. It's got it's made out like most buildings here. You did ask about that, Tony. I didn't get that deeply into it. They're kind of like a stony, like a sandstony kind of building, but there's a lot of like stucco and plaster. Although during the height of this town, when it was very powerful, you know, before the Green Death, which by the way I looked it up was 1,000 years ago. You know, everything was brightly painted and everything else. And now you can see some buildings try to keep up with it a little bit, but you mostly see as you walk through like just faded murals and everything's just covered in dust from this kind of like this gray sand that blows in from the cold desert that surrounds. But yeah, so you come up and you go past that what they call the Blood Tower, and the entrance to the arena is there. You are met. You know, it's pretty empty right now because it's the morning. So you kind of like stroll over, and a young boy, like a teenage boy, sees you and you coming up, and he says, "Oh, there won't be any tournaments yet. It's too early. You must not be from around here. Are you here for the festival?" And he's just like staring right at, well, you know where he's staring.
Yeah, I'm curious. Is there any competition for just like walk-in people?
Oh, you want to fight?
Preferably non-lethal.
I mean, I think they are doing it. Let me. I'll be right back. And he runs off. And a couple minutes later, he comes out with this kind of large, like tall guy, but he's kind of like fat, like maybe, you know, but he's you can tell he's really strong still, but he's like clearly decadent, you know, and isn't maybe a warrior anymore. But maybe he was. He's got this like leather vest on that's like black and shiny and probably would suit as some kind of an armor, but clearly never gets used as armor because he's not fighting anybody. He's got a whip on his side, and a kind of a mean looking dagger, and he's got nice boots and everything. He comes up and he sees you, and he says, "So, I heard you were looking to fight." And he kind of looks around, and clearly he knows who it is. So he looks at Uhtred. He says, "You do look pretty good. You know how to use that?" And he kind of looks at your whatever weapon you use, sword, I guess.
Bastard sword.
Yeah. You know how to use that?
I do.
Huh. Well,
It's his teeth with it.
I got an interesting proposition for you. Normally, we just burn the thieves. But I was thinking this year was set the 7 of them on fire. And then you fight them. If you walk away, I'll get some money for you. If not, you know what? Life is cheap, right? That's what they say anyways. He laughs.
So we're talking just me or my compatriots here as well?
Oh, no. I believe in a fair fight. Just you. I mean, there's 7 unarmed men. I mean, they'll be on fire, but there's 7 unarmed men.
Oh, Uhtred, you just have to do this. Take part in their atonement. Cleanse their souls as they ignite the night sky.
Well, if Valkyria says I should do it, then definitely I'm in.
He smiles.
Give me a great song.
Excellent. On Moon Day, at noon on the moon, we shall do it.
Good.
Not. I'm going to announce this, and I'm going to have criers. Do not disappoint me.
What kind of reward are we looking at here?
Well, let's see how full the arena gets. The more people that come, the more money for you.
Would
Do
more
you
people
charge
come?
admission?
Hmm?
Do you charge admission for the common people to come and watch
Yes.
such activity?
Yes. Oh, yes. This is a very good business. 3 copper pieces for a basic seat. But
Ah,
you,
see?
my friend, you
See,
look
though,
like a little piece.
See, though, here's what I'm going to submit to you, good man. Our large friend here, Red, is, well, I will not speak of his past deeds because past deeds are past, you see, and we were looking into the future. When he draws such of a crowd and does such a significant job of what he's going to do with these 7 hellions, I believe the cut also should be by whatever you pay him, you should give us a cut also of the admission fees because you're going to have more than you can handle.
Yes, of course. It will be based on the admission. That's what the pay is always.
Well, just make sure we get a little bit more than you offer other people.
You seem to be
Are
a
you-
shrewd man.
What if I could help you to draw in more business? Would that be worth a small bit more than you would typically pay other commissions? If we can get you more people than you would normally get?
Well, how about this? If you could get people to pay more, yes. But more people, the arena fills every time. People love blood. They love it. They like to see the blood run. They love to see the criminals burn and the gladiators torn to pieces. No offense. Yeah. So I don't know.
What if we
Unless
didn't
you can
set
make
them
more.
on? What if we didn't set them on fire and we charged people for them to come see Uhtred the Giant?
They must be burned as per the ritual. However,
Burned
when Uhtred lives, maybe after this, if he comes back, we could promote him as the Giant. Yes.
How about this? I could get people to pay more. Have Uhtred, our big friend here, tear these men to pieces to the point of near death, not killing them. Then you can tie each of them to a pole and charge people to shoot flaming arrows at them after you douse them with liquids, flammable liquids.
That's just sick. I like you, but that doesn't. People like to see violence. They don't want to do it themselves.
Let's just say we're getting
Well,
way
then we
too-
can. Well, then we can. You can have them throw out their pieces to the arena and say that Uhtred here will shoot them, but you have to donate enough in order to to get an arrow. Uhtred can even miss once or twice on purpose to get people to throw out even more coin.
I appreciate your showmanship. I do. But let me give you a piece of advice, young lady.
Did you get a little too anxious and
I
too eager for it?
I'm the ringmaster. I have been doing this for many years, before you were
Oh my
born.
god.
You don't need to tell me how to bring people in. However, now I think to myself that maybe he's not as powerful as he looks, because you seem to be trying to add all kinds of extra. He's going to use arrows. You're going to make him bigger. I think you're going to need to prove yourself, young man.
Janet, seeing how much Vale has completely ruined this, he looks down and he looks back up towards the man. He goes, "Can you please tell me where the money changers are?"
You can get your money changed at the Temple of Helios.
Oh, thank you. He turns around and walk off.
Let us
What do
do
you mean I
this.
need to prove myself?
Well, now you're going to have to prove yourself against a gladiator to make sure that you're worth my while, because now I'm offering money for unseen just because of your size. I mean, you look good.
Of course I do.
Let's do this. How much money have you got?
Enough.
Would you be willing to bet the money that you have, and I will match it, in a bout with one of my lesser, we'll say, warriors, to prove yourself, as a practice round, but you will get compensated if you survive. However, if you die, just so you know, and he looks at the rest of the group, anyone who dies in the arena, their head automatically becomes my property. Just so you know that. What do you think? What do you think?
Of course I'll
How
do
much
it.
money have you
Of
got?
course. Absolutely.
He dies,
When should
I don't want. I'm sorry.
I said absolutely. When do you want to do it?
Right now.
The quest over here.
So he calls to the boy. Boy, bring that wandering barbarian in here to prove himself. And then he like walks forward and opens up a gate and kind of walks into the main part of the arena, kind of expecting you to follow.
And I'll follow.
Okay.
He brings this
That's very,
under barbarian named Kanane. Kanane. How do you pronounce that?
No, it's Kanan.
Ugh,
So
boy.
this guy, oh boy, here we go.
Sorry.
Let me find the. So he's a Cimmerian.
Oh,
No, he's not actually. He's a common. All right, so the guards push this very large man
Yeah, he does.
out into the center of the arena. He is
Eric the Red.
Happy Leaf Erickson.
Yeah, it's like I'm looking for you, you Viking son of a bitch.
Yeah.
At last we meet for the first time, for the last time.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. I will yell, what
Okay,
is
yeah,
your
'cause
name, common barbarian, as I would like to immortalize you either way.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I am Takip.
Every day's a busy day. And I saw
Okay.
Josh's email when he was like,
Takip.
Keith,
okay,
okay,
so
got it.
maybe everyone can give me ideas.
I am
of,
Takip.
why it's
Is there a
taking
crowd?
us to resolve the case.
Yes,
again,
you guys.
blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, for one.
Oh, so there's
we
not,
don't
there's no
have-
spectators or anything like that?
Nobody. He says,
And it's
this guy's got
where
nothing.
I-
So the guards like push him into the center, and then they throw on the ground a shield and a trident for him to pick up. He's not wearing armor or anything, so
But from like 9
that's up to you how you want to fight this guy. But you want to. But
So yeah,
the-
we're spending
the,
2 hours getting
I don't know
calls.
if you said his name or not. The guy with the whip. His name is Erican. He says, show me your money.
I'll hand on the
If I
platinum
were
piece I
to
just got.
guess,
Oh. Well, he holds it up to the sun. Whoa. This is impressive. And he tosses it to one of the one of the guys that brought that guy in, and he says, Get the money to match that. This shouldn't take very long. And he kind of puts his his pants in his belly. You know how people do. They got a big belly, and he goes, "Go meet your match. May the gods be with you, and try not to kill him if you can avoid it, because he cost me a little bit."
All right.
Just quickly, question you, Daniel. If Valkyria were to cast a spell here, like, would it look unfavorably if that were to happen? Like, would it be considered illegal or something?
Yeah, well, you'll be cheating.
So she'll stay out of it then.
Yeah, part of his gripe was that we were threatening to boost him up, which means that
It's literally exactly what
he
he said.
must not
Can't
be
win
as
without
good
you.
as he obviously must not be as good as we said he is, because we're going to use magic on him. So he wants to see how he does on his own.
So
Okay.
I'll draw my sword and put on my shield and my gear, and off I'll go.
All
The
right.
guy with the whip,
Yep.
I'm gonna bet him half a gold. I look over it and I said, I'll bet you half a gold that Uhtred puts him down in 3 hits.
Oh. Half a gold.
Half a gold in 3 hits.
Okay.
And
So
no
an
side
electrum.
bet.
So 1 electrum is what you're saying.
Well, I was thinking more like 5 silver, but I mean, however you want to do it.
Well,
Five-
5 silver is a quarter of a gold, or 10.
I'm sorry,
You're
10
ready-
silver.
You're ready for method now.
Oh no, you're right. 5 silver is a gold.
Yeah.
You're right.
That's right.
Okay. No, it's 10 silver and a gold, so 5 silver. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So he says, oh yes, silver. The commoner's coin.
I am but a common.
That's fine. I'm not sure that I keep any silver around, but I'll give you an electrum if you're 3 hits.
Yes.
All right. He kind of he sits down and he says, well, then I expect you don't think this is going to take very long, or I'd offer you a drink. And the guy steps to the center. So I guess if you guys are going to fight, roll initiative. Oh, shit. This guy got a 1.
Let's get ready to rumble.
4.
All right, you're gonna go first. Good.
Mhm.
What you want to do?
I'm going to hit him with my sword.
Okay.
I will charge him, actually. And have
Well, you're
my
too close to
shield-
charge him. But
All right, well, I'll attack him with my sword then.
Yeah.
That is a, let's see, I can't remember how to do this again. AC 6.
AC 6 hits.
Okay.
Roll high, Cole.
That's 8 damage.
8 damage. Holy crap. Okay. All right, you hit him hard. He stumbles back. And he's got a trident, as I said. He kind of looks at it like, and he goes to stab you with it. He's like, oh no. No, he stabs at you with the trident, but you quickly, easily step away and avoid it.
I
It is your
glance
turn.
up at the guy and give him a girlish wink when Uhtred nails him.
So you get 2 attacks this round because it's your special weapon, right?
I'll laugh at him and I'll swing again. Let's see. AC 5.
AC 5 misses. No, hits rather. I'm sorry, I went the wrong way.
And 2 attacks. I'll just roll my second attack to see if I hit or not. Ouch. AC 9 on that one.
Okay, no, that doesn't hit. So you hit him once.
Wow, that's good. That's 12 damage.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you hit him hard, and he drops.
Sorry,
Indeed.
didn't mean to kill him.
No, he's actually not dead, but somebody runs out and he's bleeding. They patch him up.
I don't even look up at the guy. I just put my hand up like this.
He says, "Well, but that was 2 hits. You said 3."
Oh no! Don't.
Then he
you
laughs
start
at him.
this.
He actually hands you a gold.
Oh no! Wait.
Let's know your
Yeah.
career.
He hands you a gold,
no.
and then
Survival.
he gives 5 gold plus the platinum back to the barbarian, and he says, "I never doubted you for a second. That guy was just giving me a hard time yesterday, and I wanted to teach him a lesson. I appreciate that. I'll see you on Moon Day. Don't be late."
It's brand new.
Noon, right? Moon day at
Noon
noon.
on Moon Day.
Well, the event will be at noon. You should probably come a little early, get all oiled up and stuff. Oh, you'll have to fight, by the way, naked, just so you know that. But don't worry about that. You'll be fine. You can use your sword.
Oh, I'm sure he's not going to have any problem with that. I look over at Panesta.
No, probably not. What is it with all the naked people we're with lately?
Hey, it's
It's
Conan. You ever watch Conan the Barbarian?
Oh yeah,
They're
that
all
was Penn saying that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Valkyria, seeing this guy has all this money, as the group is going to leave, she's going to kind of smile at the guy and say, like, if you think that my friend is impressive, you should spend more of your time with me. And she's going to give him like a seductive wink.
He says, which whorehouse do you work at? Maybe I'll come by later.
Yikes.
On Faithful style?
She's just going to give him the name of her hotel.
On Faithful.
Okay. He kind of shakes it. He goes, they have some good pomegranate wine there. Perhaps I'll see you.
The best.
Yeah.
Yep.
Show Pin the electrum, and just say, it's going to be a good bottle of wine tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, so he goes back to wherever he was training the gladiators, and these 2 guys that brought that guy out, they pick up his bleeding body and drag him back. Well done.
I actually rolled an 8 for damage on that, and I got +4, so
Nice.
max damage.
Nice.
That was
Nice
very
job,
good.
Uhtred.
Hopefully you do as well against 7 people on fire.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Why have you been
We should
They're
go
only going to be
find
on fire.
Tan.
It's not a big deal.
We
Okay.
should find Tan and tell him of our success.
Yeah, you would have noticed Tan would not have followed y'all on into the arena. He would have stayed there at the entrance where we all come into and waited.
Yeah,
on
you
you.
said you were walking away, right? Yeah. So it doesn't take very long, and they come out, with their success. So you guys are basically standing in front of the arena. There's not, you're noticing more and more people kind of filling the streets now. Again, just because I kind of went over this quickly at the end last time. So this town is the population's a little over 2,000. More than half are slaves, basically. So you see lots and lots of these slaves. They're kind of a mixed race Ixian and Eskimo that's from this area generally, and they were basically overtaken. The rest of the population is the free men. So like this guy, for instance, or the people that run the bar that you were in. And then another 1,000 or so. So another the population again by half is foreigners. There's lots of foreigners here, like you guys. So it seems like a lot of these foreigners came in for this event, and the reason why you probably think that is because they're all, it's like 10 o'clock in the morning and they're not working. They're just reveling and stuff.
When we go back into the marketplace, I actually do want to look for somebody who might be vending weapons and see if anybody has a really, really nice whip.
Oh, you want to do whip?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what I want to do, Daniel, we don't have to spend no time on this unless somebody wanted to go to the Temple of Helios to talk to their priest. But I would want to go into one of the money changers and exchange a couple of platinum for gold.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're going to go buy stuff in the bazaar, I mean, the temple's pretty important. So, I mean, it's a pretty major part of the town. So I'm assuming everybody wants to go there, but that's up to I don't want to make
That's
it.
right. I didn't know if any of them served the Helios or not.
That's fine.
No, but
Yeah.
if you can money change there.
Yeah, it's a temple. So I mean, this is the major temple and it's one of the largest, besides the arena, one of the largest buildings. So you might want to go. You don't have to. I mean, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. You can just change the money. But if you want to go to the temple, you sure as heck can do that. As far as buying the whip, I mean, a whip's a pretty common item. So I'll say that's
I would
regular price.
I would like to buy a whip and also a sling and some stones.
Okay, 2 whips. Sure. So the whip guy is he's like, man, I haven't sold a whip in a while, but I guess, with this festival going on, and he kind of like one of those looks.
Would Vicario be there with me?
I assume so, yeah. I mean, I'm assuming you're all going together. I'm assuming you're all going to stick together since you all end up wanting to go to the temple, right?
That's what I'm assuming too.
Yeah.
Well, my whole reason
Yeah.
for buying the whip was actually to buy it for Vicario
Oh,
Oh,
as a kind of a gift, and also so that she won't be should we get into another
Useless?
fight. Well, not useless, but I mean, yeah, so that if we ever get into a fight again, you don't have to go hands on somebody. You could use the whip. But I was like, hey, you know what? I suddenly found myself with an abundance of spending money. I'm going to get her a whip.
you guys are loaded now.
Yeah, so I was actually going to get it for you as a gift.
okay.
So
All right. So she does not buy a whip then. She only buys a sling and stone.
Okay, yeah, that's common stuff. That's all available. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, so we'll do the temple. Let's just do it in the order of the temple, just because I already scrolled that page. And then you guys can go to the bazaar. Because I think you want to ask people stuff in the bazaar too, right? So we're gonna.
Daniel, real quick, I'm not real familiar with this. Are there things like healing potions in this system or no?
I mean, not that you can buy.
Okay.
I mean, they exist. Magic exists. Typically, if you want to get healed and you want to pay for it, then you will go to a temple, which you're about to find out too. And they do offer healing services, so you can pay them basically, and they'll heal you. But you can't buy potions. Not so much, anyways.
Okay.
Let's see.
It's a hard knock life out here.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain classes that the rune graver can make kind of a temporary healing potion and stuff. So depending on the class, but
It's a very cool class.
yeah. Okay, so Temple of Helios looms over Xambaala. 3 tiers of vast stone steps, each with a plateau and a set of huge bronze doors. Flanking the wide steps are rigid marble columns that support no structure but point at the heavens like stone fingers. A colossal blonde. He's blonde. No, a colossal bronze idol of Helios is on the top. So basically, it's a giant, Helios. So if you guys don't know, Helios is like bearded and flaming, and he's basically the sun god. You can imagine what a sun god looks like. So he's on the peak of the tiled roof. His gaze just terrifying and stern. So under the statue, set within. Okay, so the bell. Oh, actually, there's a picture. I'm doing all this, and I can just show you a picture. Where is the picture of Helios? Let's see if I can do this without showing you the entire module. Don't want to show off any dragons. So I can't say that in this because there's no dragons. There are no dragons in this. There's no dragons in this whole system. I could add one though, just for you guys. Right. So that's basically the temple. Can you see it? It's not there yet. Come temple.
I can see it.
Oh, you can. Okay. You can just see it, right? So yeah, you see he's got the little torch. He's like an old guy. He's like, "Oh, here I am," and then the bell is right underneath. That's the bell that you guys hear when you do the eventide. That's where the bell comes from. All right. I don't know why that's not near the. So that's the bell. You guys already know about that. So yeah, as you guys approach, the doors are open because the temple basically opens up, during the day, of course, and you're able to walk right in. You can see that there's priests inside. There's like little. As soon as you come in, there's like praying areas you can go to. You enter this large space. And there's like areas where people pray and stuff, but there's clearly, you guys have been to temples before. Temples deal with a lot of money. So you go to one of the first entrances, which is like kind of an office, and you're able to change some money. It's going to cost you a silver piece to make any exchange that you want to make. So just do that math.
Okay.
Yeah. So like a platinum piece would be worth, in silver, platinum is worth 10. No, that's the electrum. It's worth 50. So you'll end up with, if you exchange one platinum, you're going to end up with 4 gold pieces and 49 silver pieces, I guess, is what you'd get if you want to change it into gold. Oh, that's worth a lot.
A silver piece.
Yeah.
And then have the 5.
Yeah, that's kind of the exchange fee. They do that. You can see there's a handful of, priests kind of in here praying and stuff. And this is the main temple. It's also Sunday, which is the prayer day. So when you come in, you can see actually people are already starting to gather for the prayers that happen around noon, which is like in a little bit. So you can see people gathering inside for the normal prayers that they do at noon. You basically, in this giant room, that you see people gather around, there's like this huge like cauldron, if you will, and above it there's like an altar where they sacrifice. You guys know enough about it. I mean, you're a cleric, you kind of think, so you would know. They make animal, possibly even human sacrifices, but usually less so, depending on where you are in Hyperborea. And they drain the blood into this cauldron, and the blood is used in the ceremonies for the Sunday ceremonies. So when you see people later all painted with red, it's probably going to be blood from this. And yeah, I mean, that's basically the temple. It's huge and very, very rich. You can tell, like, all the priests are dressed in these like very beautiful silk robes, belted with, they're red, belted with these like yellow silk belts, and this jewelry, necklaces on them and stuff. So it's quite a booming religion here in the Temple of Helios. I don't know if you want to interact with anybody besides changing the money, but that's basically what you encounter.
No, as far as Tan, he wouldn't entertain any questions from any of them.
Okay, yeah. I mean, this is probably pretty common for them. So when you walk up and you just say, you give him the platinum and you're just like, I want some gold, he'll just take the exchange rate out of it and just hand it to you. And he'll say, blessed Helios, go get yourself a suntan or whatever, and then we move on.
I would be interested in folklore, like if they have any books or pamphlets. you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, if you ask about that, they don't particularly have books and pamphlets, but what they do have is it is the prayer day. So he says, stick around. You know,
Okay.
we preach. You know, the high priest comes and dons the Helios mask and brings down the blessings of Helios at noon. You should come. It's
Yeah,
a
I'd
good
be
time.
interested in that. All
Yeah.
right.
So he says it should happen pretty soon. Usually the bazaar, everybody who's not a heathen in the bazaar usually closes up during that period and they'll come in. So
Definitely. Get some folklore from that.
sure. Insofar as that, you could also, he tells you, the astrologer tower, which is pretty close as well.
Yep.
It's like kind of also rimming the bazaar. He says they do have some books and stuff in there, but not on Helios per se. That's more like about that. Those are more fairy tales. We teach the true religion here.
I understand. I see.
Yeah, those are all tales.
Hmm.
Like, this is Helios. This is the real deal. None of that fake stuff. He says. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. So then you guys go down and you go out into the bazaar and you're able to get that whip, you know, and if you want to get a sling, that's fine. I'm sure there's a sling there. That's a pretty common item as well. Again, you see lots of people coming and going around the well, lots of people kind of chatting and talking. You've got various types of vendors of food, and the reveling is starting to happen more. You can actually see that some of the closer booths, for lack of a better word, more towards the center are actually breaking down and moving out of the way, and they're starting to stack up wood for bonfires for some of the dancing and stuff that's going to happen later as you're kind of going in through that. So did you want to talk to anybody here in the bazaar? Anybody in particular?
Weren't
We
we
did.
go talk to some merchants to see about the Beastman deal?
Yeah, I wanted to see if anybody had more information on the Beastmen and if anybody knew of anybody who needed protection.
Sure.
I
Did
think
you
that's
want
what we decided.
to you want to ask the whip people, or you want to go to a food person? Like, what kind of a vendor do you want to go to?
It's probably someone selling goods like weapons, or somebody who would look like it would be bringing stuff in from outside the city.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if it's okay with everybody else, and you can just do it at the whip place. I mean, that makes the most sense,
That's
right?
fine
You're
with
right
me.
nearby.
Yeah. And Zoteria is going to get a sling as well, so we can also do something at the sling place, unless it's going to be the same.
Yeah, it's probably the same person. I mean, whips and slings are basically leather, and say the same. Well, it's like whips and slings. Like goes down the over here, you get shields. There's whips and slings over here. You know, ladies' lingerie over here. So you go to the booth, and this is actually this guy in the booth seems to be of common race. He's from here, and he's ringing up your whip, and it's whatever the common. Just look it up in the book, whatever the price is, normal price. And he, yes, you ask about Beastmen to him. He says, "Well, I don't know about that. There's lots of wild things in the desert, though, and I have heard of people going missing. I heard that it's actually the dead coming back." And then he does the sign of Helios, which is like
Buttons.
Dead coming back.
Yeah, you can move.
Yeah,
them
I
around.
turn and look at everybody with kind of like the
You just-
one raised eyebrow.
Exactly.
No, he says, no. There's signs
No.
of evil
I'm not sure.
lurking about.
Yeah.
And for some reason, they don't seem to do anything to the slaves.
What
Because
is
they-
bringing these dead back?
Probably the slaves. They're up to something, I'm telling you. Look at them. They're not like us. They come in every day. They work. They don't dress properly. Some of them have chains. You can't trust them.
About mid-sentence,
That
Tan
might
just
have
walks
been
off.
me.
But aside from their appearance, what makes you think it's the slaves? bringing back the dead. I mean, just because, I mean, maybe you just haven't heard of any slaves getting hurt. Has anybody,
Because they're evil. If the gods bless them, then they wouldn't be slaves, would they? Think about it.
suppose? She's like plain nodding. Yes, I see your point.
Great. They're
And
not dying.
Liana say, I don't know if we'll get what we're looking for from this gentleman. I kind of whisper that.
No, I have the finest whips. But that's the one good thing about this.
There they go.
Lots of whip business.
I am.
Well, I'm glad you're doing well, sir.
I got it.
I am. I'm doing well.
Well,
You'd be
thank you for your
surprised how
information.
quickly you can wear out a whip.
This?
Oh, I don't know if I'd be that surprised, sir. You don't know my my history. And she's gonna kind of go over by Tan.
Ooh, Penesta. Wow.
So yeah, so I guess you include you give him the cash or whatever for the coins for the stuff. Yeah. Did you want to say anything else to him? Anybody else who didn't walk away from the racist Bazaar guy?
Did you say there was lingerie here?
Yeah. Well, he kind of looks at you. He says, "I could probably fit you with something."
Oh, I was gonna have Uhtred do something if there was like some hanging there, like on a rack or something.
Well, not at his booth, but yeah, there is like, yeah, I mean, it's not lingerie like we would think, but there's like silk, like stuff that women would wear, like fancy, like undergarments. Yeah.
So
Not at this booth though, at a different booth, but you definitely.
Zulia would lean in as everybody's walking away. She would lean in real close and just kind of look at the whip guy and just be like, kind of look around and be like, I know what you mean. These people. And she looks around again. She's like, who else might know more about what these vile slaves are doing to bring back the dead? Who would be better to give us more information other than hearsay?
He leans in and he says, "We meet just after the eventide bell by the well."
We as in you and I.
Well, you're welcome. You seem to be of the right mind. But I mean, those who know. Those who don't believe in the slaves. And who want them gone.
At the eventide bell.
Yes, we don't linger for long, though, because, well, it is said that if you linger for long after the eventide bell, you disappear.
Well, I'm usually pretty good at doing that anyway, but it's usually on my own terms. So, but yeah, I'll be careful. She'll give him a wink and walk away.
And he puts your stuff in like a little, a little bag that says "thank you" on it and hands it to you.
Okay.
All right. So you wanted to go to the women's lingerie?
Gotta keep that social distancing.
Oh, that's all right.
I mean, you're more than welcome to do.
I think he was more of a target of opportunity if it was there.
I was gonna have Uhtred kind of.
Yeah,
I was gonna have Uhtred kind of wander over and just kind of pick something up off a rack and kind of hold it up so it's like hanging there, so it looks like it might actually be on Penesta, and just kind of trying to visualize.
Oh, from like across the. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, if you want to mess with it, eventually there's somebody who's working the booth. He will say to you, "Ooh, that is a fine selection. I recommend it highly."
You think it would look good on me?
Yes. Yes,
Correct.
it would.
Cracks a big smile and puts it down and walks away.
And just side eyes you, and then fixes it. Puts it up nicer.
As we get away from the guy at the booth, I would just kind of look over at everybody and I say, that guy knows more about what's going on then he knows more, and he wants to meet to talk about it. And I say we give him an ear.
Oh my God.
Are you sure he knows more, or does he just think he knows more?
Well,
If I fall,
either
I'm gonna
way,
totally blame you.
it's worth finding out. If he knows what's making these children that we saw into zombies,
Almost.
then it would be nice to know what's causing that to happen.
Oh, did you not hear him? He said it's the slaves. It's
Oh,
nothing
no,
but the slaves.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying he's not misguided. I'm saying that if he thinks he knows
Actually, it only
how it's happening,
once. It only goes for one time, and that's it.
perhaps the slaves are doing it, but for a reason not what he
It
says.
would be nice if it did.
Who knows? Maybe they're doing it to protect themselves. But if he knows, it would be good for us to know.
Maybe he only thinks he knows, you know?
Maybe. I don't know, but I want to find out.
Well, maybe you should go speak with him again.
Well, I will, but I don't particularly want to go all by myself.
No,
I'm sure Vale will be glad to accompany you.
He didn't look like he was doing that well in business.
We can
he'll
talk
let
about
you-
it.
Maybe he'll let you crack the whip in his presence.
We could talk about it later. I'm just saying that it's a chance for information. And then she would look over at Tan and she would say, and people like us tend to make our lives by information.
Well, that is true, but I believe the man has been in the sun too long today.
Oh, goody.
But you may be right. He may have things that he's not willing to share there in the public eye.
you
He's
know,
dead.
sorry, at the Temple of Helios, they told me the astrologer's tower holds a lot of information. Do you think that's a place that we should peruse?
Will they let you in? Will they let us in?
I have no idea. We'll have to go to the tower and charm them. I'm sure we could. I mean, we have
That'd be great.
Well, perhaps we could just ask.
Yes.
So you're talking, and you notice now that more and more people seem to be like closing up shop a little bit, and they're heading towards the temple. It's getting closer to midday.
Well, if we want to blend in here, says the naked painted woman, perhaps we should head towards the center of town first and follow through with the local rituals.
I would love to see that ritual, the Temple of Helios.
Okay.
Okay.
How would Valkyria, with the god she worships, like how would she feel about Helios? Like would there be any negatives towards that, or?
No, I don't think so. You're tectonic,
Oh, it's fire.
likely talk. Tectonic.
Sorry, we can just save it for after game if you want.
Well, no, it's fine. Basically, Helios is a neutral god. So it's pretty. Most people in Hyperborea are pretty polytheistic. So you say,
Yep.
they're basically most people aren't. The clerics, the really religious people, might be a little bit more like focused on their particular god, but in general, most people kind of realize that like these gods, unless it's like if it was like an evil god, you might not be, might not want to hang out there. But Helios is the sun god. I mean, everybody needs the sun, So your god is. I will figure out. Naka. Also a neutral god. Yeah, I mean, spiders, death, poison, fermentation, murder, witchcraft, dreams, and fate.
Sexy.
Yeah. But it's not like it's funny that murder's in there. But anyways, it's not an evil god, so no, I don't see there be a problem.
Yeah. So she says, Helios may not be the hottest god in my book, but during this time of atonement, he deserves all the, to all the burning he can get.
I suppose. I was raised in the tradition of the moon, but I don't really know what I believe anymore, so let's go check this Helios guy out. And anyway, it'll be a good piece of folklore for my ballads.
Caria will kind of lock arms with Penn and say, "Oh, don't worry too much about not being sure what you believe. Like, just go with whatever you feel."
I actually like your style, Vel. And she'll walk with Vel to the temple.
All right, yeah. So you, I guess everybody's going?
Yep.
Yeah. So you guys go to the Temple of Helios, and it is the the most common god that's worshipped here. Much like in okay, no, my brain's not gonna work. Where the bard's from.
Cromarium.
Kamarium, there you are the Gagwa, the frog god. Like most people worship that god there, even if you don't. So this is like the local deity. So you get this place is packed, both from locals, and then also like lots of revelers that are here for the festival. So you guys get in there and it's pretty crowded. And essentially, this high priest gets up and he's got this he's dressed similar to the other priests that you saw, like in these red robes with yellow banded. It's all silk. I mean, it's really, really beautiful and lush. He has this big hat, and then cloaks pouring off and rings on his finger that are glistening in the light that's coming in from the sun, the red glow. And he puts on this mask that kind of has the shape of the sun coming out. And he's very kind of the heavy set and kind of pale, which is maybe a little weird. But he puts this mask on, and when he does, all of a sudden, he just seems to have this power over the people, and maybe even you feel a little bit taken in by it. His faith. Even if you don't necessarily follow it, you can understand that he's truly a believer, and he talks about how that the sun is basically what keeps us and what brings life and sustains us, and that Helios loves the people, and that someday Helios will once again become a bright yellow sun and warm the plains of Hyperborea and remove this cold that has been growing for the last 1,000 years. And then when he does that, people start coming up, and he basically, him and his priests basically reach into this giant vat of blood that I said, and they anoint people. They basically draw little suns on their heads or whatever. Many people are already partially painted and naked and stuff because it's the ceremony coming on. But they kind of come up, and as they come up, they speak some words, and they paint, like the sun on their forehead or on their body somewhere or whatever in this blood, which pretty much dries almost instantly on the body, leaving kind of this reddish, stain, if you will, from the blood as they come through. Yeah.
How hard would it be to get up there and get one of these symbols?
No, if you get in line, it wouldn't be hard. You just have to wait.
Yeah, Valkyria will definitely get in line and dance to the altar to get her symbol.
Yeah,
It would appear
Go ahead.
It would appear she would serve any god of the moment.
I think this Bealltainn is something that all of her kind celebrate, regardless of the god. I, for one, will not be going,
Hey.
for I am a follower of Rel, and I am not sure that he would smile too much on such a thing. I don't know for sure. He probably does not care.
Got a freehold.
But
Of course, it's like a lady of the back alley. She will spread her legs for any color of coin.
Or we can do. I was about to say.
I'm just
I would
not-
like to have the
Here, and it's
experience.
easy.
I'm a collector of experiences and folklore and things like that, so I'm going to do it. But then I have to
Hey,
believe
it's not my
it
fault you did
after
that.
this.
yes,
What, you want to experience the lady at the back
I'm
end?
sorry for you.
No, I'm going to.
It's like taking communion just so nobody will look at you funny.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Like, I actually started leveling Mimi the other day.
But no,
Yeah, so you-
Pen will be anointed as well.
Okay, yeah. So anybody who wants to, I mean, nobody's forcing anybody to do it. So if you
He's
don't want to move up, you
only-
get anointed. You don't have to. The whole ceremony takes maybe like an hour. It's probably of interest to most people.
But when you click on him,
And because you did that, if anything comes up where you have a question about Helios in the future, then you'll have a bonus to the roll if you have to figure it out. Because they preached and stuff. I'm not going to preach all of Helios now. If it comes up reasonable, if it's a reasonable request, we'll say that you learned it during this thing. But yeah, you guys get anointed. I mean, and it's nice, You also,
okay, while y'all are all coming over here, I'm gonna go.
as it finishes, once everybody that's going to be anointed gets anointed, then they sacrifice a couple of cows, basically, or some kind of cattle type of creature, to refill the vats so it can boil down for next Sunday. Yeah, it's called Sunday, right? Sun. Yeah, well, it's called Sun. So, yeah, Sunday. So you get anointed, and people start filing out after an hour or so. It's like 1:30 maybe by the time everybody kind of starts clearing out. And you can see, I guess because I kind of mentioned it before, but I didn't mention it when you were here. There are healers here, and you actually do see people coming in to that are hurt, that are making offerings and are being healed. So you do know that's available here. And yeah, when the high priest finishes, he goes into like a large room in the back, and then he doesn't really come out again. You don't see him unless you want to hang out for a while.
Maybe Penn has a good idea about going to the astrologer's temple and looking through tomes and papers and such. And the more I thought about it, the more I would think, well, give the man that Zool spoke to, maybe we should give him another opportunity to. Well, Zool, did he want all of us? I mean, will he be, you think, upset if we all show up to meet him at the well? I mean, we don't want to scare him off if he actually does have valuable information.
He basically was just saying that people of like mind. So even if you don't have like mind, which, I can understand, but perhaps we could just, I don't know, pretend.
Maybe just you and I should go then. I think we are well protected enough ourselves in case it's some kind of ruse.
I just don't want to get, stabbed and carried off.
Or robbed
I
again.
don't.
Or robbed
I don't.
again.
I don't think that's going to happen. We'll push them in the well. That's the easiest way to rid those.
I'd like to ask a priest a question before we leave here.
Sure.
I don't think I stepped away for a minute, so I don't know if this actually got asked or not. But can we ask a priest about the undead that were in that town that we discovered? Or do they know anything about that town discovered?
Okay, yeah. So you approach one of the priests, as they're kind of like ushering people out. I mean, they're not kicking people out, but they're like, saying thank you for coming, and Helios be with you, or whatever. And you address them, and you tell them your story of encountering the undead and the. So he says, it is not unusual for those who have served evil their entire lives to come back. But I've not heard of children. That seems the power of a vile necromancer.
Okay.
Where was this, you say? And I guess you tell them it's like 8 days away or 7 days away. A trip, so it's pretty far away. I mean, it's probably like a couple 100 miles away. And he says, as much as I mourn for their souls, I'm happy that it's so far away, to be honest. I wouldn't want to have engaged in that. And it will probably haunt you forever. He
Haunt
leaves
me
with,
forever.
well, you know, mentally.
Nah. I'll toss him the silver and just walk away.
Oh, he takes it. He
He's a
says,
Viking. They are not scared easily.
oh, puts the silver in his thing. No, he puts it in the collection tray.
As they get their marks and everything, Valkyria will dance with him some more and say, "Oh, I'm so happy. Just like tonight, we shall paint your face and get your hair done, and we will have a great time on the town. Is this going to be your first time experiencing Bealltainn completely?" She'll ask Penn.
It will be, yes. Pen, did you say pen or tan?
Penn. Peninsula. Definitely not talking to Tan at this point, no. Tan would probably kill her.
It is actually, yes, but it would be my first time experiencing Bealltainn completely.
Well, it'll be my first time away from home, so a joyous occasion, a first for all of us. Come, let's get your face painted.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to do that, when you come back out into the bazaar, there's people, painting, and I mean, this is like a very the people that are doing it, especially while it's getting later, are basically really just zealots and people that are very into it. So they're not trying to it's not like you go to a fair and they charge you to paint you. I mean, they'll just, if you step up, they'll just start painting you. So you can get your face painted.
Now you don't have to take your clothes off.
I don't think I'm ready to do that quite yet, Val.
You could just have some cherry wine.
Yeah, I understand. And she drinks some of the wine from her wineskin and then offers it to Penn.
I'll take a swig. I did say I like new experiences.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you get painted up. The day is progressing. You guys are in the bazaar. Did you want to go somewhere else now? What's your plan? The astrologer's tower? Is that what I heard, or no?
Yeah, I think so. I think, Tan, you said you were interested in the astrologer's tower as well?
Well, I mean, he would definitely look to see if there's any tomes or stuff with you. And then he's going to try to talk Zool, and later that him and her go and visit this merchant again.
Okay, for sure. Well, it's 9, so why don't we take a little break and then we'll come back and go through the astrologer's tower.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do like 5 minutes or so. Okay, so you guys, you're going to head over to the astrologer's tower. Is everybody going there? I'm assuming.
Sure.
I always picture these D&D parties like a group of high school students wandering around in the mall. So this is pretty tall. It is it's 5 stories, so it's pretty tall. And they get narrower as they go up, so get a little point on it. And as you approach it, it's about 50 by 50, so it's not huge. So it's kind of a narrow spire. And yeah, you go up. There's kind of a nice wooden door on the front, stucco walls as normal, painted with scenes of the sky and the constellations and such, but now kind of faded and dusty. And yeah, you're able to, if you want to open the door right up, you can, and you kind of come into this like first floor area, and you see behind it's kind of an open space, and you see bookshelves everywhere, and there's a desk, and there's a couple of old men sitting down, and one looks up and he says, "Oh, come to learn about the stars, have you?" He leans forward.
Stars, gods, whatever you have to teach.
Some say the gods are stars, and some say the gods live on stars, and some say none of it exists, and it's all a dream. But those people
Sorry.
are stupid. He kind of leans back
Well,
and he starts filling the pipe.
I have studied the stars for many years of my life. And I believe, it seems that the stars have consistency, though I have not seen them since I was a little girl. Perhaps one day I'll get the chance to study them again.
They will be waiting. The stars are eternal, much like, not much else actually, to be honest with you, but the stars are eternal. And the other guy at the table was like, no, I don't think they're, no, you know they're eternal. And they start kind of arguing about whether or not the stars are eternal. As you kind of stand there looking at them. And then they
Gentlemen.
finally kind of, yes, oh, yes.
What kind of configuration of stars would lead to bad tidings or undead children?
Undead children?
I mean, theoretically, hypothetically.
That's a pretty specific hypothetical. I don't think that children can be undead, because typically to be undead, you must have lived, and children have not truly lived. Can it happen? So don't worry about it. This will never happen. Are you with child?
No.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Val.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
But I've heard stories about small undead things that sound a lot like children. And I
Stories,
wasn't
we've seen
sure.
them.
They cannot be children. They might be elves.
Elves.
Yes, creatures that live in other worlds and hunt men and eat their hearts. You know, elves.
Interesting. Hunt men and eat their hearts.
They say that some have lived in ancient Xambaala and live below the ground still and consume weary travelers. Then the other guy's like, stop telling them fairy tales. This is a house of science. There cannot be undead children because children have not lived. Final. And elves are fake. There's no elves. That's a fairy tale.
Vale, why don't you tell them about your story about the great sorcerer in the tower? Maybe they can tell you which way the stars will show it to be.
Ooh, a sorcerer.
Oh, yes. A great one. They say he caused great death.
I don't know if I would call that great. Although we wouldn't exist without it, I suppose. And those Hyperboreans probably deserved everything they got, to be honest with you. Too much lotus.
No, okay. But I have heard from my sisterhood that his tower may be nearby this place. Have you heard anything of this?
Well, your sisterhood, huh? Is that the sisterhood of the traveling pants?
No, the traveling shirt, actually.
We're
the lesser known cousin of that group.
I've not heard of them. Interesting. Well, the only tower that I know of is, if you can call it that, is that old hermit. But he certainly didn't cause the Green Death. He couldn't cause any kind of death. Not even his own. That wasn't very funny. Well, you know what I mean. He's not very powerful.
And where does he reside?
Oh, you know, he points out just randomly. He comes and borrows books once in a while. He's not so far away. You go out. So you know the tomb that has kind of the pointy stuff that's broken off. It's next to that other one that has kind of a blue wall.
I
You
mean,
know,
I'll
by
have
the
to take your
dunes.
word for it.
Go out that way,
Kind of mid
and then
there.
make a left where there used to be a pillar that fell down like 10 years ago, but it's gone now. But it used to be there. You know what I'm talking about. It's like make a left there,
Right,
and then it's just straight ahead.
Ah, I see. Okay. Valkyria is going to feverishly scribble notes in her journal.
Okay.
What do the stars tell you about the hideous, ferocious beast man? How does one defeat the beast man in the desert?
Good question, Tan.
Beasts in the desert?
Oh, there's beasts that walk all among us. You do not know that, you're scholars.
Yes, but I have not heard of any beastmen in the desert recently. All that is in the desert is sand.
What about necromancers?
Necromancers. Yes, sand and necromancers in the desert.
Did you just wet yourself, sir?
No. That's when you get to be my age, that just happens naturally.
There are necromancers in the desert.
Well, I have heard of the dead rising from old tombs when foreigners come and dig them up. Is that what you're looking to do? It's very dangerous.
Would you know how to kill them?
How to kill necromancers?
Yeah, see, we ran into one in the desert a couple days ago, and we shot it with arrows, but it didn't die.
Oh, no, of course not. Everyone knows that a necromancer cannot be killed by arrows.
Everyone.
Mm-hmm. Not slings nor arrows.
So how?
Other ways besides slings and arrows. Holy water, especially if you're in the desert. Holy weapons, blessed by holy people, but not arrows or slings, because slings and arrows do not kill. So like a sword that was blessed would be good.
Excellent.
For necromancers.
Oh, come on.
Be weary. I probably have a book on this. Let's see. He kind of he's looking around, and then he kind of goes over to the wall and pulls out this book that seems to be this like giant like index. And he's kind of flipping through it. The other guy kind of is just watching him, and he's like, "What is he doing over there?"
Tan leans down towards Zool and goes, "This whole town is mad."
Aha, I found it. 3rd floor, 5th shelf, 7th book in. And then he closes the thing and he sits down.
3rd floor.
Well, go get it, Sonny. I'm an old man.
Zool would walk by and just kind of glance at Tan and say, I am inclined to agree.
Well, let's hope that your merchant pans out to be much better.
Is the library here that they need us to go to?
Yeah, he told you where to go. 3rd floor. It's the 5th shelf.
Of this building?
Yeah.
Okay. Vel's going to go then.
Okay.
She's a witch. She wants to know stuff. And this place has books.
3rd floor,
It does have
5th
books.
shelf, 7th book.
Yeah,
Yep.
you take the rickety stairs up. And yeah, I mean, it's another floor that's just loaded with bookcases and stuff. And yeah, if you go to exactly where they said, sure enough, there's a book on necromancy. It's called Extermination of Necromancers and Other Pests.
Oh, I was looking for necromancer today.
Okay. Valkyria will open it then, and does it say anything specific, or does she actually have to read it, or what?
Yeah, I mean, you'll have to take it and borrow it or whatever, or stay here and read it to get a lot from it. But it looks like it's a very, very old book. And it seems to talk about, various heroes, that in the past that have killed necromancers and how they did it.
Okay. And it's called what?
Extermination of necromancers and other pests.
I would like to ask, I'm down there with the guys. I'd like to go back to these elves you were talking about. They sound really interesting.
Yeah, so the other guy says to you, don't get him started. Don't get him
But
started.
I'm a collector of things like folklore like this. Can't I just ask a couple questions?
Fine. Tell her about the elves.
So tell me about the elves. Where are they coming from? Under Xambaala, you said?
They live under the ground.
Under the ground.
Really, they're in everything. Think about it. When you get up in the morning and you go to lace your boot and the lace breaks, that's the elves.
Oh, so like I've heard of these things called gremlins, sort of like that.
Yes, very much the same. Except elves also eat babies. And
Elves.
people's hearts. Well, we're not sure about that, but I think they probably do, because who wouldn't eat babies if you're an elf, you're gonna eat something. Babies go missing.
True. Have you ever seen an elf yourself?
No one alive has seen an elf
No one alive. Okay.
because they kill you with their look. They hypnotize you and they bring you under the ground with them.
All
To be a
right.
slave. So you're
Slave
basically
to the elves. Okay.
yes.
Well, I
Well,
appreciate the information.
They say you are a slave for 1,000 years, then you come back. And everything you know is gone. So you may as well be dead. Elves.
Have you ever met anybody who's come back?
Well, they would have been from before the Green Death. That would be very interesting. Except they'd be Hyperboreans, and Hyperboreans are kind of,
Hyperboreans.
yeah, Hyperboreans. So. You know how Hyperboreans are.
Oh, yes, I'm sure I do. All right.
Very hyperborean.
I will
I
go back
like
to the group and I'll say, folklore often has its root in some sort of truth. It might eventually be worth checking out if there is some sort of subterranean system under Xambaala. If people have disappeared, this guy might be crazy, but there might be something to that. Not that that helps us with our Beastman problem.
Wait, you don't believe in elves? Elves
don't know.
clearly exist.
Have you seen one, Val?
Well, I mean, how else do you explain when bad things happen? That's elves playing tricks on you. Dear, you really must learn more of Fey lore. Come, we shall talk all about it tonight during the festivities. She offers you more wine.
Okay.
Okay.
Our next step.
What you guys want to do?
What time are we supposed to meet the guy at the well?
At the Eventide Bell.
So 8. I mean, we can cut forward. We don't have to play out the whole next 6 hours. If this is just something you want to do,
Yeah.
then you can do it. We don't.
No, I don't think.
Unless we find another merchant that would know about the Beastman deal.
You want to talk to the merchant? Okay. What kind?
Let's try to
Zool,
find-
pick us out one.
Oh. So I would kind of scout to look around and see if I see a merchant who looks like he's not necessarily rich, but not necessarily poor either. Like a guy who's doing pretty well for himself, but
Oh, okay.
it's one that looks like he might be doing some travels.
Okay, with or without slaves?
I don't care. Zul wouldn't care.
Well, because slaves are generally would be a sign of wealth. So if you want to go with somebody that has some slaves, then they would probably have more money than somebody who doesn't.
Yeah, maybe some. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So this person is actually selling dried meats.
No, I did not do that.
Okay.
And yeah, so you approach and they're hanging
Yeah, 'cause
there.
I don't think everybody's in here.
It's a woman, and she says
Oh.
she says to you,
Make sure.
"Oh, can I interest you in some dried meat? We have the finest meat small around, taken freshly to our smokehouse, where we dry them out to produce the most tender, tasty meat."
Ooh.
Do you have
She
a
pulls out a
sample?
really big knife and she slices a little piece off, like super
Oh my
like
God.
paper thin, and she says, "Savor it on your tongue. Savor it on your tongue."
And I'm sure.
You're not the first person to tell me that. Valkyria will say, and she takes it.
Experience.
Zul would take a piece too, and she'd put it in her mouth, and she'd just be like, "Oh God, that."
You remind me
Is
very much of my
divine.
husband.
And she would say, "I would take."
That was woolly mammoth.
Really, I've never had that before.
They're not that common around here.
No,
Yeah.
well, they're definitely not coming where I'm from. So, well, that was a first. Thank you. And sure, yes, actually, I would take. I'd say, tell her to give me like a half a pound slice of it,
Okay.
or not,
So like 5 silver.
shavings of it. Yeah, and when I buy the meat from her, and I would say, and while I have your attention, I was wondering if you'd indulge me a question for a moment.
Wait, is it the one that is like your little?
I've heard we arrived here. We were riding scout and guard for a lower merchant.
Oh, okay.
He brought us here. You said 5 silver, right?
Hey.
Yep. Okay. And since we've been here, I've heard rumor and talk of caravans traveling between Xambaala and Ithorium being attacked and waylaid by these beastmen creatures. Is this something you've heard anything of?
Well,
Is there any truth to this, or is it just
Stephanie
tavern
doesn't
talk?
have her cloak on her maid yet.
There are
Maybe the monk doesn't either.
many dangers when crossing the deserts. And yes, caravans do go missing.
But
I do not know if they're beastmen. I've not encountered any such thing.
So
However-
one of your sorry.
I have heard of many merchants coming here and going missing shortly after.
Here in Xambaala?
Yes. Those who decide to wander after the eventide bell or seek out what is in the lost, old inner part of the city often do not come back to tell their tales. That's why we go inside at night. It's not just a custom. It is for our safety.
Yeah, this particular
Those
instance
damned
is
elves.
like big AoE pulls most of the time.
Elves.
So one would think it's safe to assume that these merchants that have gone missing were simply ones not sober enough to get inside and were still wandering the streets. Surely the merchants were not exploring ruins or anything like that, right?
Some people will do anything for money.
Don't I know?
You can take it from the dead.
No? So merchants missing from town, but you've heard no extra warnings or no one telling you to be more cautious than usual traveling the road between here and Euthorium.
No, I actually do not travel. I live here. However, I deal with merchants who bring me meat and such, and they do say that it is dangerous on the road. I have not heard of anything particularly about beastmen, though.
You're like, get me out of here.
So since you deal with so many and with meat such as this, I could see, I don't see how you couldn't.
And the bear
How
has
everyone
gas.
is not coming and lining it at your tent. Is there a merchant that you think would be better? Like, do you know of a merchant who travels the road more regularly than others, who might be able to, speak on this with more authority?
The traveling merchants generally congregate around the docks.
I have no
This is where we go to buy from them. Well, I have my own connections, but if you were to buy just randomly, you would go to the docks.
Okay.
Yes, in the morning bell rings, the dockside warehouses open up, and those merchants that need to refill their supplies get them there generally.
How close are we to that eventide bell right now? Or how close would I think?
4 or 5 hours.
Oh, we still got a while. Okay.
Yeah.
I say, okay, well, in that case, I appreciate it. And I just, I kind of pat the meat packet that she gives me, and I say, and again, thank you so much. And I extend a hand, actually, and I'll say, I am Zulia, by the way.
Ah, Caroline. Nice to meet you.
Caroline, a beautiful name.
Thank you.
Is that the name, a common name among desert people, or are you originally from someplace else?
Yes, I am from here originally.
Oh,
I wouldn't say it's a common name, but it's, there's 1 or 2 of us floating around.
Excellent. Well, thank you again, Caroline. I appreciate it more than you know.
Would that like half pound of meat, would that be enough to like share with the party, or like I'm asking for a reason?
Well, I guess it depends on how thinly she slices it.
I mean, I don't think it's a meal, but it's like a little.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a nice big hamburger patty worth of meat.
Yeah, it's probably like a big package of beef jerky.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Valkyria will say, then, like, I would like to order a, let's call it like a meat kebab for me and each of my friends here.
Oh my God!
We're celebrating Bealltainn.
Okay, well, she does more like dried meat. Do you want like a cooked meat kebab? Because there's other places you get that from, sure.
Okay, yeah. Well, okay. If there's okay, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Challenge me to a duel.
She's a jerky lady.
Yeah, she's like a dried meat. You can get like for a couple of copper pieces. You could get like some. Well, if you want a good one, probably a silver piece.
Yeah. Basically, I just got some of the most awesome rations ever.
If you want like a inexpensive like meat on a stick, it's like a silver piece. If you want something good, then it's probably going to be like.
I mean, like what?
3 or 4 silver.
Julia,
Actually,
the Wagyu jerky.
The Natty Light. That's a loser.
So, okay. So what time is it? Like, is it time for like
we have
lunch?
to go to Freehold, which is
I mean, it's always time for lunch.
Yeah, it's 4 hours before the
Yeah,
eventide.
it's like 4 o'clock. Yeah.
So Valkyria. So if we don't have anywhere to go, then Valkyria will offer to buy everyone lunch, basically, for Bealltainn.
We appreciate that. Certainly, we could eat some meat on a stick on our way to the docks.
No, thank you.
It is now.
Yeah, I think the docks we were going to do in the morning.
Oh, okay.
He said Caroline said the morning would be the best time. So
Well, yeah, that's when the merchants go there. If that's what you.
yeah, and that's who we
I
want
mean,
to
shoot,
speak to.
Disney's ruined so many of our
At this point, as we make our way to the where we would get the delicious hamster on a stick, I would kind of look over at Tan and maybe a couple of the others, and I'd say, "Yeah, the Eventide Bell. I forgot about the fact that it's not safe to be out after the Eventide Bell, and this man wants to meet me at right after the Eventide Bell at the well."
Well, we can always outsmart the half-smarts. What we can do, if you think it is some sort of trap, I'll say you and I go and meet with this man and his cohorts. And the rest of our friends, let's find a good place for them to be, inconspicuous, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
I'm more concerned about not necessarily the man at the well, but what else might be in town.
Huh. Well, it can't be any worse than dead children coming back alive and attacking you, can it?
Yes, I can't argue with your point.
I mean, I suppose it could be worse. Could be elves.
There's always more down, Tan. There's always more down.
Or it could be old man babbling and pissing their pants, I guess.
Well, I guess we can always stick to the shadows. I think we're both well versed in that.
I'm also fairly good at hiding. If you want me to conceal myself somewhere, I'd be happy to do that. I don't know where we're going to hide Oftred.
Oftred.
Oh, sorry, I misspoke.
Well, Red is not one to be hid. I mean, unless he could stand around the corner of a building and stay as still as he can, I guess, but...
Camouflage.
Sometimes you feel like that.
Oh, Ultrid, are you saying you would like to be painted for the festival as well? Because we can certainly do that for you.
Oh my god, please do that.
Only by you.
Wow, I'm actually genuinely nervous about doing it. But what the hell? You only live once.
YOLO.
Unless you have a necromancer around, then you can live a couple times.
That's right.
Oftred has one more thing he'd like to do.
Yeah, sure.
With the information that we learned about necromancers, he's curious now about holy weapons. So I'd kind of like to go back to the temple and just talk to that priest again and see if it's something that's possible I can get done. Have my sword
Blessed.
blessed, yeah. Thank you.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So you go back to the Temple of Helios and address one of the priests that you see while walking around about this. He tells you that any undead is basically the blight of the earth, and that Helios would certainly want any strong warrior to be able to defeat undead. So they would be happy to of course bless your sword in the blood sacrifice. In that 100%. But of course, like all things, to show your true loyalty to Ilios, it would just a little sacrifice on your part for them to do this task for you of 100 gold pieces, and yeah, we can be done.
100 gold pieces. Well, I want to kick ass for the Lord, but I'm not that rich, thanks.
If it is meant to be, Helios will provide you with the 100 gold pieces, and we can use it for the good work that we do here. And as he's doing that, you kind of see that he's got these like beautiful gold and diamond rings and stuff on his fingers as he's kind of talking to you with his hand.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks anyway.
Yes. You are quite welcome, my son. Then he starts eating his caviar. Okay. Yeah. So if you want to study that book, though, on more deeply on the necromancy, you can. you know, you just got to go back there and read it, I guess, whenever you get. Or you can just sit there now and read it, I suppose.
So Tan, did you want to find a place to hide everybody, or did you want me just to try to stay in the shadows tonight?
He would try to look for some building, yeah, that y'all could hide around or in.
All right, so let me look at this here.
I shall hide behind this rock.
Guy's a pro.
So what's going to happen here is when the bell rings, you're basically going to, you know, have this area here. All the tents and stuff that you see, maybe you ask people, this is how you know this information, they basically stay up. They don't take the tents down, although some of the ones in the center are down already because they're starting to burn bonfires around them. So that first row around is gone. They say they don't take them down. They just basically like flop down the side flaps of them or whatever, so the tables don't get dirty. And then they take their wares and they bring them back to their houses. So all that stuff will mostly be there when the bell rings. So yeah, just kind of the heads up.
Okay.
So you basically have, you know, and most of the tents will have basically like have you ever seen like street fairs before? You know, they flap down these like
Yeah. Yep.
cloths on the side, so you could almost like get inside of one of the tents and nobody would be able to see you in there per se. I mean, unless they were really looking for you. So if you wanted to hide in one of those, that's an option. Of course, it depends on, you can't get there before the bell because they're open at that point. So you'd have to wait till after the bell to do it. So that just depends on how you want to do it. But that's basically your structure. That's what you're looking at. So, and remember, if you guys want to use this and draw on it or whatever, you can. Remember, so if you want to plan that, that's fine.
Yeah, how far is it from the well to one of those thatch top buildings?
Let's see.
Roughly.
That's about 75 feet. 150 feet, maybe.
Okay.
That's at the outside of my bow range.
Well, and if Red stayed there, it would not take him very long to run towards us. I would hope not.
Pretty much exactly from the closest spot. Yeah, it'll take about probably 3 rounds, I would imagine, for an average person. 3 or 4 rounds, 150 feet. So his movement's either 30 or 40. So
it's 40, so yeah, it'd be about 3.5 rounds.
Yeah.
What about behind this? Let me see if I can do this here. Behind like this row of tents. Can anybody see that? Whee!
I don't see it yet.
Is that still too close?
Oh, how come I don't see it? Where'd you do it? Which row? Top, bottom, left, or right?
Oh,
I see it. Yeah.
Really,
You're just writing very skinny. Yeah, I see you. Yeah.
I don't know how to change how.
It's like the skinniest pen ever.
I didn't pick it. I just said, oh, format. Here we go. Sorry, guys. Oh, I'm so silly.
I'm like, where is it? The little tiny thing. There you go.
Like,
oh, look at that. You put your name on it and everything.
Still really tiny, though. I'm not. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that'd be too close, Tan? If I got behind, like, one of those tents? I just don't want to be too far away from you guys.
70, huh? About 70, probably 80.
Yeah, that'd be about roughly 70 or 80, yeah.
It'll be dark and I can move
basically
silent.
that space right there. I mean, I just kind of did it with my fingers. So this space right here, that's roughly 150 feet. That's almost exactly 150 feet. So, yeah. So if you're there, then you're like 70, 80 feet. If you're behind
Well,
that.
my question is, like, I mean, are there still going to be people out after evening bell tonight because of the festivities and stuff? Like, will there still be several people out, or
there should
will
not be.
everyone
No.
still go in? Okay.
I mean, it's not the law that you have to go in, but most people, if you ask around, they'll say most people abide by it, except for foreigners. Some foreigners don't. So there's probably some people out, but and as time goes on, so like when the bell rings, it's not like it'll be deserted immediately, but probably within a few hours it should be pretty empty.
Okay.
That's what you get for a. People telling you. That's not the official.
So people will be partying inside then. Got it.
That's correct.
Okay.
Ready.
Well, Penn, maybe it would be best, maybe you and the witch could maybe hide off in one of the tents and let Red stand there at the edge of the building in the darkness.
All right. If that works for Vel.
Yeah. I guess Vel will stand like back here, or something, and she'll just kind of like be dancing and stuff. I'm gonna say like, I mean, because I don't think she'd be good at hiding. So if there are people around and stuff, she just wants to be back there, kind of like dancing and sort of paying attention to what's going on, trying to be a little bit inconspicuous.
Okay. So like hiding in plain sight, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because these, just so we do it here. As noted, these are down, and there's basically fires here currently. Right.
Xambaala
Yeah,
Burning.
right. What's that?
Xambaala Burning Man.
Exactly. It's like Burning Man.
Oh,
So there's
goodness.
fires and people dancing and reveling, and there's people. I mean, you definitely see people laying on the ground in between the tents and stuff that are not going to be getting up because they've definitely chewed too much lotus.
Oh,
So-
I can lay on the ground and pretend I'm stoned.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you could.
Do you want to actually do some lotus?
No.
Oh, damn it. Sure.
I do.
Man.
Can Valkyria do some lotus?
Yeah, you buy some. Let's see. Let's do it. All
I
right.
don't know.
If Vel's
I
gonna
think
do it,
I
then
need
we'll
to
do
keep
it.
my. I would, but like, I think it would be a good idea to keep our heads straight for now because this could get dangerous. So,
Yeah.
can I buy some for later?
Yes.
I mean, if Penn's never done it before, Vel is definitely going to get Penn high.
Oh yeah, Penn will try it, but like you said, maybe when.
Yeah, so
Let's
she'll
not
just
make
want to buy
Tan
some
do it.
for later, hopefully.
They're the worst drug addicts ever. It's like, oh, we'll do it until later when it's practical to do drugs.
I don't want to
Well,
make
I mean,
Tan
to
too
be
angry with
fair,
us.
you don't just do drugs whenever, like just whenever. I went there with drug addicts. We're drug enthusiasts.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
And I'm just looking for new experiences, so.
Yeah, Penn's never done it before, so she's definitely not an addict. And Belle just does it to take the edge off every once in a while.
Which means I'll get really high because I've never done it before.
Now I got to find the damn lotuses. Where are they? There's a whole section of them. Here we go. Lotus species of Hyperborea. Aha. Ah, yes. This is much more important than the actual story of the campaign.
Yes.
Dang it, yeah, this is something we
Let's
should have done
immediately jump to the lotus.
off screen. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Hold on. So, all right. So for lotus, okay, black you definitely don't want to do because that'll kill you. I think what you want is russet, if I'm not mistaken. Potent sulfuric effect. Yeah, this is what you want. It's like it makes you like drowsy and stoned, basically. That's going to cost about 5 silver pieces for a leaf.
And is it like one leaf per usage?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, so she'll get 2 leaves.
Okay.
I will pay. I mean, you don't have to buy everything, Vel. I can help.
It's fine. It's fine. This is your first time. Hey, Uthred, are you going to join us later?
Join you later? Not with the drugs, but I'll be painted.
Okay, fair enough.
So I'll be seeing giant, painted, weird Uhtred hallucinations. Good. Yeah, really good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
going to work out. Well, let me see.
Getting body painted by this lovely lady seems like a great idea.
Write this
See,
down. Listen.
Let's quickly check this. It's funny, in the other module you guys read, there was all the rules about Lotus and nobody did it. And now all of a sudden we don't have it and everyone wants to. I gotta look it up.
All right, well, assuming it's just 1 leaf per person, so I just bought 2 leaves either way.
Yeah, it's fine. I
And,
just need to see what it does exactly.
Unless anyone else wants some, and Zilla, you want to get down on?
Oh no, I'm sorry. No. It's much more expensive. It's 5 gold pieces, not 5 silver pieces.
Ooh, no.
It's 5 gold pieces. Oh,
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, never mind about that.
Oh man.
Think if I had the gold, I would do it.
That's only 1 platinum.
I don't have platinum anymore. I bought that sling.
That's what happens. You waste your money on slings and whips and stuff, and you don't have any money for drugs.
Let's try to get some more money before this session ends.
5 gold buys how much?
1 leaf.
1 leaf.
Can they share a leaf?
Are you trying to buy
it's not going to be as good.
I mean, puff, puff, give. I mean, come on.
We'll get more money. I promise I'll try it with you, Val. I promise.
Yeah, you can split one if you want. If you really want to.
I was going to give them 5 gold. I could spare 5 gold for them if they wanted to do that.
Why don't you go and sing for a song there, Penn, and see if you can get some money.
Get some coppers.
Well, we could try that again. I mean, it's a risk. People might catch on after a while.
What are you speaking of? Because she's going to sing a song?
Oh, you want me to sing, or do you want to pickpocket again?
Oh, my luck has run out for the day. This is all up to you now, to your beautiful voice.
Oh, to sing a song. Oh, okay. I'll dance for her. I'll dance naked for her while she sings.
If you want to do that, I could play my harp or my flute, and you can dance.
We should get around the pole so I can do a little pole dance.
If we go near the fires and she starts dancing and I start playing, maybe the revelers will throw us a coin or two.
Let's do it.
Hey. I like how you went from being like super rich to as soon as drugs are involved, now you're all broke again. Desperate. It's like, what can we do? We're fiending. No, whatever. You get it eventually. This went south really quickly. Anyways, time goes by. You're not going to get that much gold from doing that. So
from doing that,
that's why you're doing it. Then I mean, you're going to get a few copper pieces if people are going to throw coins to you because everybody's dancing and reveling right now. So
okay, good idea.
If that's your intention, I don't think it's worthwhile to do that.
Okay.
So you get into your positions because you're going to meet this guy. I guess that's the plan. And fast forward. Yeah. So the bell rings. Ding. And everybody kind of looks up. And they're like, wow, it feels like it's still the middle of the day. And then they start packing up their stuff to move on. Where do you want to hang out? You're just going to be right at the fountain right now, Zulia and Tan?
I would probably stand off a little bit, maybe near one of the fires. I don't want to be like right up against it. I'm stand away with Tan and just wait and see if that guy does in fact approach.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's like 50 degrees, so it's not super warm out. So maybe you can warm yourself by the fire while you're waiting. 10, 15 minutes goes by. People are packing up and kind of scurrying off quickly. Some people are getting the well's actually fairly busy right now because people are grabbing their like bucket of water for the evening or whatever and moving on. And so in about 10, 15 minutes, it's much more deserted. There's still some dope fiends laying all over the ground in drums, that seem anywhere. There's a handful of people that seem to still just be reveling, just like enjoying the space and not paying attention to the fact that they should be inside right now. But overall, I'd say that from going from several, like high hundreds, like 400 or 500 people that you saw earlier, there's probably like maybe 50 people left, between, and at least half of those are completely stoned and passed out on the ground. But then about that time you see Yan. I don't think I told his name before. Yan's the racist racist merchant. So you see Yan approach the well, and he gets over there and he like looks around, kind of leaning against it. And he pulls out, a pipe or something and starts smoking it. And then after a couple minutes, you see a couple other people do the same. They do that thing where like they all kind of go and like hang out in the general area, like not talking to each other at first, like all just kind of looking around. And then after, maybe another 5 minutes, they all kind of get together and they start talking.
It would appear, Zool, there's our group.
There's a total of 5 men. They're all dudes. They look like they're probably of the free men, like the number of slaves, clearly. And they are, they're talking.
So Zulia would just tell Zan, of course, like he needed to be told. You keep your hands on your blades, my friend. And she'd start to walk over.
Okay. Well, they're pretty aware of their surroundings. So as soon as you kind of step out of the area that you were kind of in, and you're moving towards them, they immediately notice you and they kind of stop and look. And then Yan, the man you were talking to earlier, sees you and he says, I wasn't sure if you would come. It seemed like you had some sympathizers with you.
I kind of shrug and say, sometimes people have to put up a certain
Orange chocolate, I'm not sure
front
about lemon.
when they're in mixed company. I don't want to sound rude, of course, but there's much business that we have in town. And I do have other things I need to get to this night. So if you are amicable, I would really like to know what you've heard about this uprising of undead.
I don't know.
I mean, I know you said you thought the source of it would be the slaves, but that's a broad answer.
So he looks at you, and a couple of the other people kind of like say something, kind of under their breath to him when he turns back and he looks. He says, "Oh no, we need to get more people."
Apparently
Says,
they didn't want
you
to
look
leave.
like you were able-bodied.
No, we can't have the
I
outside
mean,
world
they are like
invading.
carrying like knives. I mean, you're clearly armed and armored or whatever. So he sees you, and he says, "You look able-bodied, and we believe, we know that the slaves being given free reign after the Eventide Bell to go live in the old city, take up tombs of the undead, and sending those undead to kill us. They're hoping to take over the city."
Good grief, where's this thing we got to fight?
So what is your?
Yeah, I know. Where are they?
You say we need more people. What exactly is it that you plan to do?
When are they going to release it?
We need proof. And I can tell you this. The tombs they're digging up
stunned.
full of gold and gems and magical
I got
treasure.
stunned again.
And slaves are too stupid to know how to use that stuff. So it's probably just laying there. You could just take it. All we need is proof.
Oh, the monk got it.
And how are you proposing to find this proof?
Go to the slaves. Bring one in. When they're making their magic, bring in an undead slave, a slave with an undead. Slaves raising the undead. Proof.
That's a very tall order.
Well, I mean, free men must stick together, or we will be overwhelmed by them. And I, for one, do not want to be. They say when an undead spirit kills you, your soul is forever lost.
Not like the necromancers who take you away for 1,000 years, huh?
Well, necromancy.
Oh my God, what did you do?
I mean, 1,000 years, and it's basically lost.
She chuckles a little bit. She says, I shall make you no promises, but I will see what I can do. When are we supposed to meet the guy who's going to give us the rest of our money?
So 2 days. Not
be
today,
tomorrow?
but actually tomorrow, yeah. The 16th.
I tell him that I have important business tomorrow. And
Okay, stop looking at cookies.
meet me here at the well.
Well, you really cannot concentrate.
Tomorrow at the Eventide Bell. I'll either have the proof or I'll not be here.
Later.
And if I'm not here, it's because I didn't make it, because the undead got me, or because I found no proof to give you. If I find no proof to give you, I shall not waste your time.
Well, as you might die to the undead tomorrow, would you like to lay with me tonight?
Copyright, so shark tornado.
I'm pretty good. All the whores tell me that. I've never had a whore tell me I wasn't good.
I know immortality. I don't even know what that is.
I lean in real close and I go,
This is a quest item.
it is tempting, but there's a tall, dark, and handsome one right back there that travels with me, and a Viking that's huge. But, I mean, I assume he's huge. I mean, he's big. I don't know if he's huge. I'm going to find out really soon, though. But,
I thought you just said
what's the name of the place you're staying at again? The Silver what?
Saturn's Luck.
Saturn's Luck. Yeah.
Over at the Saturn's Luck, there's an exotic witch. And she's gorgeous.
Oh,
I traveled here with her, and I will tell you that even as a woman, when I look upon her, she is the finest I've seen. And she has spent the entire day naked and flirting. She's ripe for the picking, my friends, I tell you. Perhaps you should go.
I have enjoyed burning witches in the past.
Oh, I don't know if you want to burn this one.
Yeah, we're going to do it. Might as well.
Oh, I see.
No, most of us, I don't think.
You may see me later.
Except Stephanie. Stephanie's probably the only one that does.
Nice. So
Good luck to you.
Well, I don't
Kill
know
some
enough
of these vile slaves for me.
we'll see what happens.
Do you think your friend would be interested? And he kind of looks at Tan.
What?
I mean, it's
What
kind
kind
of
of-
late.
I thought you said I was back by the fire.
Oh, you didn't walk up? Oh, okay.
Oh.
Oh,
Didn't you,
yeah.
Zool?
I just kind of put my thumb and said, "I'm there." I said, "There's a tall, dark, and handsome one back there." Is what
Oh, I assumed you were there. If you're not there, that's fine. Then he doesn't.
Yeah. But,
Then he does not to bed you. Listen, it's like when the club's about to close. Like time's running out. He's going for whatever he can
That's
get.
right.
So he looks back at the guys that and he's like, "Oh, I guess it's gonna be us again." So they go off to do their thing
Okay.
as you leave the. Okay, so yeah, they don't try to kill you or anything. I mean, they go back to their meeting.
All right. So I go and I grab Tan and Pen. I grab everybody else. I can't remember exactly who all's there and where they're hiding at, but we gather everybody up. And
We gathered together today.
yes, and I tell them basically everything that they just heard, that they want me to go and find proof. And I said I might be willing to go and speak to the slaves in the I guess what do they call it, slave town, or in the slums. But
I have no interest in dragging any of those slaves to that vile man. So I told him if I didn't show that it would be because either the undead killed me or I had no information to give him. But he is convinced that the slaves are doing it, and they're either doing it willfully or it's a byproduct of the slaves' tomb robbing in the ruins.
Hmm.
So
Well, I think checking out the slave town, the old part of the city, is not a bad idea. I mean, not to bring them back to that man, but just to see what's going on. But maybe not tonight.
He's come over here because I
Yes.
don't want to click on the portal by accident.
no, I don't think the slaves would have much interest in entertaining anyone after the bell. I say we probably go and find our own shelter because they say this place is dangerous at night.
And if we do go into the old city, it would be best to go into some kind of a disguise to maybe fit in with those that live there. Us going the way we're dressed now is not going well. Of course, Val's dress is something to speak of differently, but if we go as we are dressed now, it's probably not going to garner much.
Very nice.
Yes, but at the same time, we are common men, and if they believe that we are here to, I don't know.
Okay, well, they.
If we
I don't know
warn
what
them,
No,
those-
just so that because just I think I see where you're going with that. Turn.
Tell
All the slaves you've seen, they dress in just
or
loincloths.
male fox.
But they are very specifically this mixed. It's a racial thing. Like I mean, it's you haven't seen any like common men slaves. Like all the slaves are this Ixian Eskimo combo. So they probably don't look much like them. But you could, I mean, but if you wore a loincloth, you might look like a slave. But you haven't seen any common men slaves, so you don't know if that's a thing unless you want to ask around.
I would say we ask them if it's something. I mean, but also let them warn them that there are freemen that suspect them, and that if they are the ones responsible, then they may wish to be more discreet. I don't care to. I don't share the same burning desire to involve myself in their affairs as maybe some of the rest.
No, I agree. This is not an affair of us. I don't see us making any coins from the slaves.
But you do know slaves often hear things their masters do not. They often know more about their masters than their masters. Maybe they would
Yes.
have information on some of these rumors.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this
That
has
we've
got
been hearing.
17
And I'm
corruption
also
on it.
more concerned about the tombs full of gold that the slaves
It
might
does,
be
doesn't
getting
it? Well, and it
into
says increases my leech by
than I
3%.
am what the slaves are doing. If you catch my drift. If they're creating, I mean, I don't agree with it, but if it's how they choose to deal with their slavery problem, then
I'm just
It is
saying they
what
might
it
be
is.
well worth talking to them no matter what. Talking to
No,
a few
I agree.
slaves. Yeah.
I agree. So it sounds like we have merchants and slaves for tomorrow.
Merchants and slaves, whips and slings.
Yes.
Well, no one has ever mentioned exactly what stalks at night, have they? As far as we just keep hearing different things, but I mean, there's been no concrete.
Didn't we hear it was demons at one point or something?
Yes.
Yeah, no, you did almost
After
have
the
us
bell
killed several
tolls, do not
times.
be on the streets. Demons will take your soul.
Yeah.
Well,
That's very true.
Sounds pretty.
demons
We would
walk
not have
any
felt like we had you
time of
over.
day or night.
I pat Tan on the shoulder and I say, my friend.
Valkyria sneezes.
I pat Tan on the back and I say, well, my friend, if a town full of people make
a special effort to put themselves inside after the bell. My guess is it's probably for a good reason. And we've heard.
I do not doubt what you were saying there, Zoel, but maybe it would be best, since we are foreigners and we don't follow under the law, maybe it would be best, let's stay out just a little bit this evening and see if something does happen. What better way to find out than firsthand?
A slow walk back to the tavern, I guess, is what you're suggesting.
Well, sure, maybe a few dark alleys, and all that.
Maybe we'll see an elf. I really want to see an elf.
Julia just kind of goes, "Oh my God, these two."
Well, if you see an elf, you're gonna have to let me know what they look like so that I can write it down and start collecting information on them.
Oh, absolutely, Vel. I mean, I'm sure I would have seen an elf if we could have gotten our hands on any lotus.
Well, the night's still young, dear.
Sure, fire away.
Wow.
I mean, there are some fiends laying if you want to go loot their bodies. You might find some.
Mhm.
Oh my God, you fell down. Are you okay, Pat?
So you're going to wander around, or are you going to walk back to the town?
It sounds like we're going to do the slow walk and not necessarily in a straight line back to the tavern. Is what
Pub crawl.
it seems to be what Tan is suggesting. So
Okay.
10 wants to
I mean,
fight.
you do find as you're kind of walking that there are other like taverns and stuff that are open. I mean, they're not like closed up, and you can hear people in there drinking and stuff. So you could walk in a tavern and get a drink or look around. And you want to walk around a bit.
Yeah, I think we're just kind of like walking around a different alley, just to see if any demons come out.
All right.
Make it a pub crawl.
There you go. So go ahead and roll a d6 there, Tony.
Uh-oh.
Tony's like, oh shit.
That is a 1.
1. Hey.
So that's not good for us.
You don't see any demons. But as you're kind of walking, you head down this alley. And you're kind of like looking. You see some fiends laying on the ground and stuff. And at the end of the alley, you see 4 figures kind of fill the alley in front of you. Hulking men wearing loincloths and holding in their hands a short club.
Actually, a human alliance.
Kind of look at them. Your eyes kind of adjust. And you can see that 2 of them have like these metal collars around their neck with
Griffin Rider.
And you hear like a shuffling, and you turn around, and behind you on the other end of the alley are another 4 of them.
Nice.
You are
Ready shooter.
Let's get on. I would like to
okay?
I would like to immediately go into hiding in the shadows.
All right.
If I can, since it's a dark alley.
Well, it is a dark alley. I mean, they're looking right at you, but
Oh.
yeah, you can shoot them with a crossbow.
Yeah, I mean, once I know, of course, Zool and I both would know what's up with this, so yeah, I'm not going to hesitate. I'll shoot at the group in front of us.
All right.
That is a armor class 4 for 3.
Nice. Okay, so we'll get into initiative now. So let me just go through and ask everybody what they're going to do. So again, just basically what you're going to do. You don't have to get too far into it. Panesta.
Bow for now. Bow.
Okay, so you're going to use a melee
Missile.
missile. Tread.
I would pull out my sword and charge the closest one.
Okay. Yeah. Tan. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm going to sling my light crossbow and grab my short sword, and because I'm either going to go after one or one of them's going to charge towards me. I know probably.
Probably. Yeah. How about
casting a spell.
Yeah. Valkyria.
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 Damn it. Valkyria.
And he's doing them
I need to change the way it's spelled so it doesn't end up in Zulus Island.
People are over here.
Yeah, well, so if there's things in here, like baskets and all this, and she's tiny, so obviously she's going to go hide for the shadows to see if she can get around behind the ones that Uhtred is charging. If she
Okay.
possibly
I mean, you probably can't get. I mean, just to and just to give you the whole thing, you probably can't get around them. At least not right now. They're blocking the alley.
Oh,
You
okay.
can get behind some garbage and shit if you want to have cover, but you're only going to have it probably from one direction.
So I'm not going to be able to basically pull off the backstab thing.
Not right now. I mean, maybe if combat
Okay.
goes on and you leave the combat and come back, maybe. But right now they're looking at you.
So in that case, I'm just going to whip out the light crossbow real fast and shoot.
Okay.
Now that I have a more basic understanding of what's happening in here. So.
Yeah. I mean, you could get if you were just trying to get cover, so you wouldn't get attacked. That's fine, but they can see you, so you're probably not going to get a backstab at this moment.
Yeah, there's too many of them.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's since I ended on you, I'll start on you. So go ahead, Zulia. Rush, roll initiative, D6 for the party.
D6 for the party. We're going for high, right?
Yep. I got a 3.
Oh, they're going first.
All right. Yeah, they charge forward. So they only have to go 20 feet. Yeah, they can make it. So they all run forward and try to batter you with clubs. I guess there's 5 of you, so 1 on each, and then I'll figure the rest out. So first, let me just look up. Let me get their chart going here. All right, first one against Nesta. 13. Your AC is 5. Which means they would need a 14. Wow, okay, well, hold on. Do they have a bonus? Club, +2. Yeah, they had. Okay, so that's a 15. So they hit you with the club.
Okay.
It's a light club at that. So first guy charges in and pummels you with the club. Ooh, for 6 points of damage. Holy cow.
Oof.
That's a pretty serious hit.
Yep.
Second guy comes, charges the barbarian. Probably more than one's going to charge the barbarian for sure. That's going to miss. That's only an 8. 1 goes out 10. That'll be a 13. Which
I'm AC 4.
AC 6. That misses you. Against the witch, 14. That's probably going to hit you because you're naked unless you have something special going on. That's a 5, AC 5. Yeah, you're AC 9. Okay.
So would be distracting.
Only if you play the chainmail chick and the other game we played there. 6 points of damage to you as well. Whoosh.
Valkyrie's dead. Or knocked
Okay.
out or
Well,
something.
you're at 0 hit points?
Negative 6 points. Negative 1.
Okay. So you are unconscious, but you're not bleeding out. You drop. So you're like, Zulia. Oof, 19. That's going to hit. I may have to look. 4 points against you. All right, and there's 3 left.
This is 9 good.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. 14 against the barbarian. That's an AC of 4.
It's
That hits exactly. Yeah. 4 points to you.
right.
And then there's 2 more. So I'll roll randomly here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll do it. Oh, there's 4 of you, so I'll just do a D4. The 12 against number 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's a 14 against 10. No, it's a 12. 12 because I roll a 10. 12 against 10. Misses. And that doesn't hit anybody, which is good because that was max damage. Okay, so they come charging in, smashing the witch to the ground. You'll lose that spell too, unfortunately, and battering the rest of you. Their mouths are drooling, and you can see their teeth are actually shaved into points, and their eyes are wild, possibly on some kind of, well, only the witch would know. That's some kind of lotus high or something as they charge into on you. So you can't. Well, yeah, you can't really do a missile attack unless you back up a bit, which I suppose you could probably do.
Yeah, I figured.
I'll say it's a mess, so I'll say you could back up. But in order to do that, that means you're gonna. Well, it doesn't matter. They already went because they won initiative. So you're just not gonna go. Melee's gonna happen first.
Okay.
So Uhtred.
I will yell in a rage, seeing my witch friend fall to the ground, and I will take a swing at the closest one.
Nice.
AC 6.
6 hits.
All right. And that's 7 damage.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you chop this guy down like hard, and he stumbles back, almost dead. And Tan is also a melee attack.
All right, you ready for me?
Yep.
Quick look at looking at them when I see these teeth and stuff. Do they look alive, or do I mean? Would I just a quick glance? They still look like they're just normal alive. They just did something to their teeth.
Yep.
Yeah, he'll just look at him as he takes the short sword and says, "I will satiate the evil from your soul." And a 17, so that hits armor class 2 for 3.
Nice. I'm just going to say the one you shot with an arrow before it charges at you because that makes the most sense. So you hit him. He actually, that arrow sunk very deep on him. So he, that shot, that slice of the sword almost kills him. He basically staggers back a tiny bit. Nesta with the bow.
Do you think I could do a bow attack? I mean, it's okay if you think I couldn't.
Yeah, if you back up, you can. There's no opportunity attacks in this, so
Okay.
you move back.
Just back up a little bit. I'm bleeding pretty heavily, and I'm really mad about Vel going down, so we'll try it. Plus. So that hits armor class 5.
That hits. I mean, they're basically naked.
Right. And so that's a D4. Oh, I hate D4 so much. Okay. So 4 points of damage.
Okay, that's a pretty good bang. He staggers back, still strong but hurt. And the arrow sticks into him. And he kind of screams out, Zulia.
All right. I guess I've already declared, so I'm going to try the crossbow attack as well.
Yeah, you just got to step back a little. There's enough space now. You think probably with the missile people next round, you're probably not going to be able to use missile weapons. Everybody's going to top feet.
There we go. Is armor class 7 good enough?
7 hits.
Okay. Ooh, that was kind of low. That's going to be 5 points of damage.
Nice. Okay. You step back too and trigger your crossbow into one of them, and it staggers back. All the ones that you're hitting are pretty hurt. Like they're just men that are naked. So
Okay.
there's just a lot of them. That's everybody, right? Okay, next round. Go ahead, Zula. Give me. Oh well, actually, let me go to what's everybody doing? I'm assuming melee now because you don't really missiles aren't going to work anymore unless somebody wants to cast a spell.
Uhtred's melee.
Nope, everybody's melee. Okay, perfect. Rush.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, melee, I guess.
Initiative. Roll d6 for me, Rush.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know
Oh, you're
I was
fine.
trying to do that. Okay.
Yeah, and for the whole combat. Just make life
That
easy.
time I got a 5.
All right, you go first.
Yay!
I'm just going to start at the top to make it easier. Panesta.
All right, I'll use my longsword on the one that was attacking me, I suppose.
Okay.
Ooh, nice. 18. So that hit armor class 1.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that's on. You know what? Yeah, 1d8. 6 points of damage.
All right, you slice him heavily across the
shit.
chest, and he drops to the ground dead.
Can you
Nice.
remove the
Who tried?
corruption from it though?
Seeing my compatriot kill one, I'm like, yes! And I'll swing at
Oh, that's right.
the same one I swung at before.
Do you have 2 attacks? Do you want to put them both on the same person or 2 different people?
Well, I guess it would depend if the first one dies or not.
You can't do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
but if you do that, then you can only take 1 attack now, and the second one will be after they go.
That's fine.
Eventually,
make one
I would
attack.
do them either on my mage or on my chamois.
AC 6.
But
Yep,
I
that
actually have to
hits.
Finish leveling
Damage
them.
of 7.
My chamois is
Dead.
12,
He drops.
and my mage is still 1 to
Okay,
10.
10.
Yeah, Tan's going
Yeah,
to try
I'm
to
tomorrow.
finish the guy with the bolt sticking out of him. Armor class 5 for 4.
That kills him. He drops. Zulia.
She's gonna drop her crossbow and pull her dagger and hand axe. Well, no. She's gonna pull her hand axe. Sorry. I don't know why I keep doing that. She's gonna pull her hand axe and she's gonna go, I guess, after the same one that she went after before because that one's still alive.
He sure is.
I got a 14, which hits armor class 6 for 5 points of damage.
That's enough. You chop into it with your axe. He staggers back, dead. All right, the 4 of them are going to get to go. So 1 on each of you, and then does the second attack. Okay, so against Penesta, 15.
The world class. Yeah.
15 hits an AC of 4.
So, yep.
That hits you, okay.
That's not good.
Nope.
5 points.
Yeah, I'm
He's
at
down.
-3 now.
-3. Okay, you're fine. You're not bleeding out. You just go and you go down. And the slave yells out in ecstasy as he knocks another one of you down. Okay, against Uhtred. 15.
I'll try to work on getting that trinket.
4. That hits AC 4, so he hits Uhtred as well. Ooh, 4 points. And 10. 15. And your AC is 4, so that also hits you. Oosh. 4 points against 10.
All right.
And Zulia. Ooh, that's only an 11, which I don't think hits you.
Yeah, I have AC 7.
Let me check. An 11 hits AC 8. So now you were able to avoid the attack. So now to finish this round out, Ohtred, you get 1 more attack.
All right,
There's 4 guys, they're all in full strength.
Seeing Penesta go down, I'll get really angry, and I'll run at the one that killed her. And that is an AC of -1
That hits.
for 6 damage.
Okay, you dig deeply into him with your sword, but he's still standing. As we go into the next round, I'm assuming melee for everybody?
Yep.
Okay. Rush initiative. 2 for them.
A 4.
Okay, you guys go first. Penesta's down, so Uhtred will only want to attack this round.
Yep, I will swing at that same one. So AC of 2, and that will be 7 damage.
Dead. Cut through this guy. He drops to the ground. You've got many dead bodies scattered around you. 10.
Dan looks over at Zoe and says, think back to the port days of what we did there. And I'm going to use offhand weapon parry as I draw out my dagger. And with my short sword, that will give me a +1 to my AC. So my AC will be 3 now on defense. But
Okay.
I get to make one attack with my primary weapon, my short sword.
Can I do that, or is that just a purloiner thing?
No, you can do it. It's advanced combat.
I think everybody can do it.
Yeah, anybody
Oh.
can do it. It's on page, well, never mind. I made me a separate PDF for combat. I'll have to look. But I hit armor class 1 for 2 points.
Nice. It digs deep into him, but he doesn't die. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there are some of the immense combat things that are fighter only, but if the Perlona can do it, I'm sure that the SS can.
It's on page 256 in the player's handbook. If you've got it, I don't know about the full book.
Well, Bane isn't in the raid.
Yeah.
Yep. It's the same page numbers.
All right, good.
Yeah, offhand. Yeah, there's no prerequisite. Anybody can do it. So it just gives you 1 + 1 to your armor class, but only against melee attacks, which of course is relevant right now.
Because I heard you say you had 2 daggers out or whatever, 2 weapons, so that made me think of it.
Yeah. Well, you got to draw the other one. He hasn't drawn it yet. Go ahead.
Okay. Is it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Yeah. So I've actually got like 3 daggers hidden on me, but one of them to keep on my side. Oh yeah.
He's like, I have so many daggers. Should I get a bonus for each one?
No.
You can't juggle.
So I got him in case I have to start flinging them at people. I'm just.
No, it's fine. Yes, you can use a dagger as an offhand weapon.
So I'm going to pull that dagger out, and I'm going to go at the
I didn't kill the guy with my axe last time, so I'm going back at him.
No, you did. That guy did.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. So the new guy, I hit armor class 7 again.
That hits.
For 5 points of damage.
Nice. He's still up. Oh wow. Okay. There's temporarily more of them than you, I think. Well, no, actually, you're both the same again because one other one just went down. So there's 3 each. So there's 3 of them and 3 of you.
My mods that I typically use.
I mean, all things considered, you're doing pretty good since they started off with way more people.
I didn't want to add
Yeah.
all right. Just in
Against,
case there's some
Uhtred.
mods that would be an issue.
Ooh, 18, that's going to hit for sure.
I think neither one of us can take a hit again. I don't think.
4 points to Uhtred.
And Rush was like, "You're breaking the world of Warcraft again." I'm like, "No, I'm not."
Is he still up?
I'm
You
still
still
up.
up, Uhtred?
Oh,
There we go.
he's got to be.
Oh, 18, that hits you as well.
Oh shit!
Ooh, 6 points on Tan.
Oh, he's down.
Oh crap! That'd have put me at -3 then.
Okay, so you're still not bleeding out, though. That's good. That's a good. You don't want to be bleeding out, especially with the party so low. And finally, Zula. 14, which might miss you now.
I am
Because,
now at AC 6.
oh, that hits AC 5. Okay, you got it.
Crap.
I'm down.
Are you? 4 points.
Yeah, I only had 2 left.
Okay, so you're -2, so you're not bleeding out then. So basically, Uhtred is alone. There's 3 of them now. 2 of them are wounded.
I have 1 hit point.
What you want to do?
3.
Well, I'm
There's 3 of them,
angry
you got 2
now.
attacks.
My whole
Come on,
party is
Lily.
lying on the
Stop.
ground. So,
Yeah.
Pay attention to me.
are they all like standing in front of me?
Yeah, they're like around you, basically. You guys are in like everybody's within 10 or 15 feet of each other. Like you're in a small melee in the alley. They ganked you.
This is when we need a berserker in the party.
Yeah. I'm gonna attack.
Okay, let's do initiative. You might as well roll it since it's on you. D6. 2 for them.
4.
Okay, you go first, and you get 2 attacks. So 2 of them are wounded. Do you want to go against 1 each, or do you want to do just one of them both attacks, or do you want to decide after you do the first attack, which means that they'll get to go?
I'll just do both attacks against 1, I guess, for now.
Okay.
So,
One that's wounded or one that's not wounded?
I'll go with the wounded one.
How many?
Okay.
How many are there?
3.
AC 6.
You got this. AC 6 hits.
Okay. And that's 7 damage.
Yeah, okay, he goes down. So it doesn't matter. You don't lose that or attack. You're just not going to be able to go until these 2 guys get to go.
And I just want to roar in anger and just try and intimidate.
That's why I was going to try to tell you to split him because now if he gets hit, it's over. But if he
Oh, we'll see.
gets-
Ooh, 9's going to miss you.
Okay.
Ooh, 10's going to miss you. Wow, they both missed.
Holy shit! He's
You
going
get
to
another
pull it
attack.
off.
Holy crap.
So I get to attack again.
Yep.
All right, I'll go against the other injured one.
Okay.
That's AC 6 again.
That hits.
And that's 8 damage.
Kills him. Okay.
Oh my
coming into
gosh.
potentially the last round of combat. You have 1 attack. He has 1 attack. Ooh, this is going to be tight. Roll initiative. Ooh, 5.
4.
Oh, come on, baby. I think that misses you, though. 12, because you have a really good armor class, right? Let me check. 12 is plus, 12 hits AC 7. He misses you. Because your AC is 4, right? Yep. Okay,
Yeah.
you go.
I
Don't
will
miss.
swing. All right, that is AC 3.
That hits.
And that is 9 damage.
Okay, he's barely standing. Okay, next round. And you get 2
Oh
attacks
my
this round.
god.
Roll initiative. 4.
Roll a 3.
All right. He only gets 1 attack, though. So he's basically, if he misses this attack and doesn't take you out, he's most certainly dead.
Double fights brownie.
13, which is a 15. 15 hits AC 4.
Ah, crap, I'm dead then.
All right. Let's see if you're okay. It's only 4 points, which makes you -3, so you're not bleeding out.
What?
Oh, that actually works out kind of interesting.
Best of both worlds.
So, oh look what time it is. I could not have planned this. Wow. Okay, that worked. So now you know what happens. Now you know why everybody goes inside when the bell rings.
Yeah, I knew it. I'm like when Tony was saying, like, yeah, let's walk around the city. I was thinking, like, man, there's a reason you don't do that.
But you know what? We almost made it.
Yeah.
If Uhtred had done it, well, you kind of made it because
Oh, sorry,
Well-
dog.
you. You're groggy. Your head is pounding, and you open your eyes, and we'll find out where you are next session.
Slaves!